Delay on my end, everybody. My thing was being
No,
a
I
bit
thought it was
funny.
mine.
No, it was just on my end. Welcome everybody to episode 36 of the Aim Down Sights podcast. Um, we do have a lovely guest joining us, but he is running late. So when he gets here, he'll join in. But we do have a guest for the show this week. As you saw on the advertising, we have the Black Viking joining us. But we also have the fantastic Soul joining us this week again. Like he was off last week, he's back this week. He's feeling better, but he's still got a bit of a voice thing happening. So if your voice decides to fail on you at some point, Soul, just let us know. But thank you for being here. I know you're still recovering from being unwell, so we're gonna kick off and check in with everyone to see what they're doing. But I just want to say a quick shout out. Hi Tryhard, hi Becca, and hi Fuck You. Great to see the usual suspects in the chat as per usual. Per usual, everyone watching on Twitter or X, hello. And yeah, let's get into it. So, Soul, the show was a little less soulful last week without you in it. Um, how are you? What have you been up to? Happy to have you back this week, man. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm happy to be back. It's been a long couple of weeks here. I am still under the weather. The voice was completely gone yesterday. I get to work and could not talk. And so you can't work with the babies, can't work with the kids if you cannot talk. So I promptly came home, thought that I was going to get some gaming in because I felt pretty good, right? Went right to sleep. And I mean, I slept like a baby yesterday. So I guess that was the Lord's way of saying, you need to lay it down. But I've been pretty good, just trying to make it, been watching a lot of TV, more so than getting some good gaming in. I know you guys talked about that good old secret level last week, and I actually enjoyed Secret Level for what it was. So that was a good thing. But I am so enamored right now with the Godfather of Harlem. Why didn't somebody tell me that this damn show was?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that show was really good. Why didn't somebody tell me this show was so damn good? I mean, it's gotten me. I am ingrained, and so it has got me ready for um, Mafia, the new Mafia game. I'm kind of ready for that. So, the old world, old country, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of put me in the mind frame. So I'm ready for that. But other than that, just maintaining over here, just trying to recover. And so tonight, when I go off mic a little bit or whatever, hey guys, I'm probably dealing with a lot of drain. I'm dealing with some stuff. We don't want to get into the details, but the voice is doing pretty good considering I didn't have one yesterday. How you guys been doing? I missed you guys. I missed.
We missed you too, Sol.
Yeah.
But we held it down for you last week. We made sure that we went for a super long time. That
Hmm.
wasn't our intent. We were both
Okay.
stoned.
Okay.
And you know what we're like when we talk. We can just go off.
No. Yeah. No doubt.
We
No
had
doubt.
Unhinged Nero last week, which is so good. I made sure I popped that in the timestamp so that anyone who wanted to specifically watch that moment could watch that moment. I loved it. Loved it. But Nero, how have you been? What have you been up to? Yeah, what's happening in your space?
Honestly, guys, I cannot complain. Another good week of making it through life and making it back to my favorite place to be on the weekends, and that's right here. Right now, I'm just a little annoyed watching the KC
You watching
football
that
game,
KC game? Is KC
aka
running? Are
King
they running away with it?
King cheaters, man. They cheating their way to the
Uh,
top, man. The refs insane calls. So like it's really insane. A lot of calls is going viral right now. You got old football legends calling it out. Absolutely insane. So if you're here watching us instead of that trash team that is KCA, we appreciate you rocking with the real ones, man. But as far as gaming, I finally got around to playing this Game Pass banger that I think a lot of people may have slept on. Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess. Finally got around to starting that up from Capcom, man. Absolutely beautiful art style. Feels really good, looks really good. Played a little bit of Forza Motorsport recently. Wanted to check out that awesome update that I wish I would have highlighted last week. But another huge update from Forza Motorsport, guys. Just a BMW centric update with new cars and tracks and everything in between. So shout out.
Mm.
Over on the other side of the fence, over on PlayStation. For those
Oh,
like me coming
PlayStation.
late,
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Why did you have to bring them up, Nero? No, I'm
got
kidding.
because we're gonna talk about them a lot, so I might as well give the few good things to say out the way.
What'd you say? A
Finally
few good
got
things? Yeah.
a few good
Hey.
things, right? Finally got Sonic Shadow Generations on sale. I was talking to Panda before the show, and Astrobot did exactly what Psychonauts 2 did at the time, but it reignited my love for platforming games, and it kind of made me thirsty for more of them. So this going on sale was really clutch. Um, Good news, guys. I'm really proud of this. I'm 86% done with Silent Hill 2 remake, and I have not looked up one puzzle or one thing, and it has been driving me crazy. Here we are, halfway through January. The game dropped back in what was it, September, and
Yep.
still slowly chopping it down. Shout out to my brother 4IQ, man. I am also 73% done with Final Fantasy 16. So that's all I've been pretty much gaming, man. You know, I jump between a lot of things. What have you been playing, Panda?
I'm just going to quickly just say shout out to Lord Roughness. So good to see you. The game adaptation newscast, as per always. I'm glad, guys, the show just ended. So thank you for spending your next lot of time with us. General Spartan, as per usual. I just love our community and everyone who's here. Hi, Lyric.
Shout
Um,
out Lyric, Reese.
yeah.
See y'all. See y'all. What up? What up?
And Reese. What have I been up to? I have been playing through because I've already completed. Like I played Sniper Elite 5, single player, all the way through, and then I have been playing co-op Sniper Elite 5's campaign,
Hmm.
and so that is now finished, ready for co-op Sniper Elite Resistance, which is launching at the end of Jan. So super excited! I pre-installed that. And so that's about 80 gigs, and it's coming to Game Pass day
Wow,
one.
it's available to pre-install. I did not know
It
that.
is available to pre-install. So if you want to pre-install now, please do so. Yeah, and then so I've been playing that. I started RoboCop this week,
The
and
Rogue City, the
yes,
game.
yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Now, what I'm
Enjoy.
going to say here is I grew up watching RoboCop, and I have so much love. There's so much nostalgia there as well, and I'm not that far in, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the game. Um, I think for like the devs showing the love of the IP of what it was. So I watched the reboot of RoboCop for modern day audiences, and I was like, this isn't it. And so I'm really glad that this game is based on the original movies around like the
Mhm.
world building, the character
Hmm.
design, all of this stuff. And you feel OP as fuck. Sorry, it's just fantastic. If you
Graphics
haven't
is
played
really good too.
yeah, if you haven't played RoboCop, Rogue City, um, it was on. I got it on special, but I think they've done a really good job. There is an option for 60 FPS if you want to play in 60, or if you want to play in 30 with better visuals, you can. So I've been playing that. I also was cheekily just having a nosy at Oblivion again,
Hmm.
because and I feel like that was just because of what's come up. I was like, oh, I really just kind of want to play Oblivion. Um, and started a new playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 in a co-op game. So I'm
Hmm.
playing co-op with one of my friends, and so we just started a new playthrough. We started a new playthrough because we've completely forgotten how to play the game. I haven't touched in such a long time because there's been so many other games releasing, and so happy to actually get back into Baldur's Gate 3. I have so much love for that game and what you can do, like the endless possibilities about how you can approach a situation. I do
Mhm.
save a lot because I'm like, I want to test this thing and see if I really F up, and or see if I can if this is a possibility to do this or try this. And so I save it, test it. If it's a complete failure, I'm like, well, been there, done that, go back. Or if I'm like, oh, it's actually successful, we can do this. But there is a really fun scene in Act 1
I'm sorry,
involving
Larry.
if you've ever played Baldur's Gate 3, there's a very fun scene involving, what would you call it? Like, it's not a shed, but it's like some type of a barn, involving a barn and what's happening on the other side of the barn and disturbing some people on the other. And what if you do manage to open the barn door, what eventuates is quite entertaining as hell. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing with my gaming side of things. I feel like there was something else I was playing this week, but I can't remember.
Panda, can I
I don't
try
know.
again to highlight? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. So
No, I'm just gonna say, Panda. I don't know on the other side of that barn, but it sounds like it could be a little bestiality going on in Panda. I
There's
didn't know you were
something
into that.
happening in there.
I
I mean,
didn't know you were into that now,
it
Panda.
is sexual in nature.
I'm a
yes,
druid
you are
in Baldur's
correct.
Gate, so I'm into that soul. I'm into all of that shit.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I
Only
mean,
because it makes sense. I'm a druid.
oh, Lyric, thank you. I love that you're calling Nero out, man. Love it.
Yeah, so I got to get back to Baldur's Gate. We definitely started it, but we first of all, Larry act like it's my fault. Yo, we had to reevaluate ourselves, Panda. Like we're at a spot where when we load up, man, we was getting effed up like tremendously, and we couldn't save scum and go back for it. I mean, we're gonna get in there, but I did want to highlight, guys, the first Berserker demo is live on all platforms,
Yeah.
so please go check that out.
Have you tried it yet?
Yes, I tried it on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and that shit was choppy as fuck. So I got it
What a
downloading
grifter, man. What a grifter. No, I'm
on
kidding.
the Series X. I'm saying it's a smoother.
I love you,
Well,
Nero.
this is why I'm here.
Yo,
'Cause I
it's
can let you
smooth.
guys know
It's smooth on the
smoother.
Series X. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
that because I fired it up myself just to
Look,
try.
so
And that shit was smooth.
so you're blinded by a superior VR window. Okay, that's all that is. But
Hey,
I
I'm
can
telling you,
confirm
man.
it does seem smoother on the Xbox than it did. I don't know what that PS5 Pro version got going on, but what's the point of all that power if something like the first Berserker is not running? I don't know what's going on. They need to look into it. I asked the homie Gritty; he had no problems, but Gritty seemed to be blind when it comes to any problems on PlayStation, sadly. But I did want to highlight that demo seems really good. I love the anime style, art style. And it sounds like from a few people that it definitely could use some patches, but this is the entire point of a demo, guys. Give your feedback. Constructive criticism is always appreciated in this field of work. So, yeah, I would be excited for that when it drops. Not sure if I get it day one because with Game Pass and the lineup for this year, man, it's day one games is going to be tough, man. Closest I'm probably going to come is Assassin's Creed Shadows, but knowing Ghost of Yotai is coming this year as well, I can't really confidently spend full price on that game, man. So yeah, guys, check out the first Berserker. Yo, Lyric just hit something in the chat. He said the first Berserker is what Wukong's supposed to be. That is a fact. I agree. 1,000,000%.
Okay.
It's the more optimized game. Looks better, run better. Probably would be better.
Damn.
Okay.
That speaks volumes.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we do have some quick news, so we can just throw into that. But I'm going to ask everybody in the chat, what have they been playing? I see that some people have just started Baldur's Gate 3. I may have encouraged people to go back and play some Sniper Elite 5. The new Resistance is also co-op campaign. So, if you like stealth games, then Sniper Elite is totally your vibe. I can't stress how much I love that game. I just do. And I'm so excited for Resistance. What's funny though, Jedi Knight Peter, shout out to Jedi Knight Peter, who was playing this game with. There were like Resistance posters in game with the character look of the Resistance games that is about to launch.
Hmm.
And you can use the same the because it's happening at the same time as this Sniper Elite 5. This game is, and you're playing a different protagonist. But you can, if you're playing co-op, you can play that same protagonist as the co-op as your co-op character.
Mm.
But it's interesting that they didn't go with the same look. That character looks very different to what Resistance looks like, but he also looks exactly like what the posters had. So I'm like, were they cheekily just like kind of advertising this game without letting us realize that they were advertising this game? So it looks like advertising posters in there. I was like, lol, that's kind of funny. Okay, we can crack into some quick news very quickly. Did you want to lead off? I know you've popped quite a bit of the stuff in for the Marvel's
Yes.
Rivals piece, so you're more up to speed on that there.
All right.
Hero.
This has been your weekly Marvel Rivals advertisement section of the show. It seems like every week I talk about this game, and deservingly so, because it is a fantastic game. I've seen a few people in the chat mention that they've been playing this game, as they should. Also, the Battle Pass. This is how you do Battle Passes done right. A lot of good content. Really make it worth your time. So, with that being said, Marvel Rivals aim to release heroes twice as fast as Overwatch 2 time. A dev
Mm,
confirmed that they plan to release a new character every 1.5 month. So
that's
that
exciting.
is really dope. What
That's a
better way
massive
to keep
release
a?
cadence.
It is. It really is. Um, Recently got the first half of the Fantastic Four squad. So we got Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic. Two really dope additions to the game. Really fun, dope learning curve. So guys, that's very good news if you're a Marvel Rivals fan like myself. Next piece of news, I meant to add the other companies, guys. So Sony has donated $5 million to Los Angeles wildfire relief. Finally, the villains of the gaming industry finally does some good. Good on them, good on them. And we know they've been struggling with financials, especially after the Concord debacle. So for them to still double down and donate $5 million, that is really good. Black Ops 6 and Activision is donating as well. They're donating $1 million, and then they're doing I forgot what type of event they're doing, but all proceeds to that will be donated. Then I seen other smaller companies like Insomniac as well doing a separate donation from what Sony gave. So that's really good. A lot of gaming studios and developers is based in LA, and especially that California area in general. So if it's anybody listening in California, I hope you know the damage wasn't too bad for you. And if it is, smile, because guess what? You're here listening to me telling you everything is going to be okay. And anything lost in the fires besides life and pets can be gained again. So shout out to Sony, Insomniac, and Microsoft and Activision for donating. And I hope this continues to be a trend. Okay, so now we got the rumored remake of Elder Scrolls
Give me one
Oblivion.
second. I'm just going to move our scene so that
Okay,
you aren't
definitely.
being cut off when you talk. So one moment. Okay.
Take your
There you go.
time.
Kill Bean. Shoot,
All right,
hero,
so
shoot.
this is what I'm really excited for. I love to hear you guys takes on this. So it's a handful of features that's being improved, such as combat, certain systems, gameplay systems. This game is really old. Skyrim is old, so Oblivion is old, right? And a lot of this game is outdated and just doesn't feel too good to play in 2025. Not even just because of the graphics, but just because of how some of the mechanics of the game has aged. And I got similar complaints with The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 1. So I'm all for this. I'm extremely excited. I think if it's any company of the big three that need to get in their remake remaster bag, it is Microsoft. I'm all for remakes and remasters when that's not all you're offering. So,
Yeah.
man, what do you guys think about this?
I'm going to throw to Soul first. You haven't been here, so I just want to hear your voice. More of that, just adding more of your soul into the show, man. I will always play on your name. I just love it. I just can't help myself. But yeah, what are your takes on this Oblivion remake, which has kind of been confirmed? This is the second lot of news about this. Yeah. Why can't I hear you, Soul? 1 second. I can't actually hear you.
So we cannot hear you, brother.
Just give me a second.
It's the silent yell for me.
Chat. Chat. Can you hear him? Oh, we can't hear you, man. I'm pretty sure you can hear us, right? No idea. I'm not sure either. 1 second. I'm just gonna quickly. This is what we need, right? Just a day where. No. Place to. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly try something and then try something else. Just only the scene. I'm going to quickly try and replace this. Still nothing. Why? Check your audio settings on your end. I don't get why we can't hear.
Well, while we
Sorry,
wait for
guys.
Soul to get
Anyway,
situated, yeah.
we can hear my stuff. All right. Well, why? No, I'm kidding. Okay. No, I think I'm 100% on board with a remake of this game from the ground up. No Soul. Nope. Maybe I change scenes and we go back and see if I don't know why this one is just. If you try turning it off and on again, give me a second. This is just still nothing. Give me a second. I'm going to try changing scenes and seeing what happens. Nope. You were working. Maybe jump out of
Yeah,
PV
you may
Max and
have to
jump back
leave
in.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, leave and come
Close
back.
it and
Yeah.
come back.
All right, I'll put us back on full screen. Hopefully that fixes it. Oh, I just wanted to hear Soul's voice today. It's just not happening. But what was I saying? I think that this game is 100% a game that needs to be rebuilt from the ground up. Much like The Witcher 1, which definitely had its merits at its time, but it has been stuck on PC and there was never going to be a console equivalent version of that. So if you wanted to play The Witcher 1, you would have to go back and play it on PC. And its controls were outdated, its visuals definitely needed some love. And this game is beloved. Like Oblivion is beloved by the Elder Scrolls community. It's a fantastic RPG. And I just think of this as like a technical side of things where if they're building it in the ground up, they're going to use what they learned from doing this remake and put it into Elder Scrolls 6 around the engine and such. What else was I going to add? Sorry, my brain is just fried because I'm just sad that Souls wasn't working. But if you go back and play this game, and it is a backwards compatible game that you can play on Xbox. If you've never played it before, you can go back and play, but you'll understand what I mean. It is outdated. There is some love and some jank from those old style games, but when you're looking at trying to sell Elder Scrolls 6 in the future to a whole new level of gamers who never experienced Oblivion and probably will never go back and experience Oblivion as it is currently. Mm-hmm. There are people who have never played Skyrim. How do you get them into the world of Elder Scrolls and get them set up to deliver and experience what Elder Scrolls 6 is going to look like? Give them something like Oblivion, bring it into modern day, improve all the mechanics that you need to improve. And from what the leaks kind of indicated was they are improving the sneaking. They are improving the way that your stamina works in relation to blocking. They're improving the way the arrows, like the way you shoot. There's a whole heap of quality life improvements. And you would expect that with a remake where they're going back and delivering essentially the product that was, but for modern day audiences, with the benefit of even learning what they learned from Skyrim, learning what they learned from Starfield, whatever it is, and then deliver a 2025 or whatever year version this is, because if this comes out in 2025, fantastic. And then you've got people who are now up to date and are kind of immersed in Elder Scrolls to the point where they might go back and play Skyrim, but they're more likely to give Elder Scrolls 6 an opportunity as a result of going back and playing Oblivion, because the hardcore who've played this game before, who have so much love, are gonna go back and pick this up, are gonna go and play it with the better visuals, etc., etc. That's going to be the case.
If I may, I think also it's just a entire, because I consider myself a Skyrim generation baby.
Yeah.
So I came, as far as the Elder Scrolls, I came during the Skyrim generation. So as far as Oblivion, Morrowind, like all those, the ones prior, man, it is definitely a big audience there. Like it's so many people that's just addicted to Skyrim, but never try any other Elder Scroll games, and are waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. So I think if you come on back, a lot of people give Oblivion the edge over Skyrim. And for
Yeah.
me, as somebody that just loves Skyrim, all that tells me is I gotta go play Oblivion and
Yeah.
to see it for myself. But with them modernizing it, Unreal Engine 5, they use that. I just think that'd be very dope, man. I think the wait for Elder Scrolls 6 is still gonna be a pretty lengthy one. So I say why not?
Yeah. I agree. We don't know how long it's been in development at all. It sounds like it might have already even been in the works during the Bethesda acquisition as well. So it could be further along than we think it is. Yeah. I'm curious. Soul, do we have you?
I don't know. Do we?
Yes, we have Soul.
Great. That works. So I don't know what the deal was. Everything was like fine on this end, but
Did you
then
pay
you
your EV Max bill this week, Soul? No, I'm kidding. Did you pay it? No, I'm kidding.
You put me out there, Panda. You put me out there. I can't believe you did that. Now I gotta get. Now I need to give you the Christian Bale. Why did you do it? Hey, so as far as
I love
this
it.
is concerned, yeah, I know, right? My voice is going to go in and out, like I already told you earlier. But as far as this is concerned, I did not play this game. I haven't played these games, and so I'm actually excited for anything that's going to come out. Here's my one thing, though, because I'm not going to belabor the point that I didn't play. I am excited about it. Where am I going to find time? With the limited time for gaming and the way that 2025 is stacked up as far as what we know we're getting in Game Pass and then just games that are just releasing in general. Where is the time for this?
Yeah, there's so many third party, second party, and first party games releasing this year. And some of them are fire, absolutely fire. So I agree. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? When are we?
Yeah, where's the time? And so, I've been debating over the last 2 days of downloading Path of Exile 2. And I already know that's a time sink. And so I don't know decisions, but I am excited about it. I will probably download it and I'll probably start it up to see, but I can tell this is going to be one of those time sinks. And where do
Path of
you put the
Exile.
time?
Path of Exile 2, you don't want to play by yourself. I highly recommend playing with other people.
And other people have been trying to get me to play.
It is a hard game. And when I say a hard game, I mean it's unforgiving. in the sense of you might be brand new, but they aren't making it easy. You're like trying to survive and stay alive, even from the very beginning of the game. So they don't hand anything to you. I do recommend playing with other people because they'll teach you things about the game, so you don't have to kind of walk around figuring it out yourself. It's a
Right.
bit of a there's a lot to this game, and I can see why it's been on PC the whole time. I'm
Okay.
actually tempted to pick up another copy just for PC because the saves you can pick it up on console versus thing like the saves are compatible with any system. Like, and just with I'm more inclined. I feel like I would be more comfortable playing this game on PC for myself.
Okay.
Just because of the amount of skills that you have available to you. I think if I look at the way the controller setup is for the way they do, which is turn based, and I'll give this a complete different. It's a very different way of playing the game. Baldur's Gate 3's the way they integrated and delivered all those options, and didn't disadvantage the console player and made it very intuitive. Yes, I feel like yes, there is remapping in Path of Exile 2, but it just isn't for me, it doesn't feel intuitive control wise the way it's currently set up. Like this, I went through and like changed so many things just so it felt more intuitive to and felt more natural. But yeah, there's lots of skill slots in that game.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry, we got a sidetrack. We're talking about
I got
Oblivion.
sidetracked. Yeah, I know. So
But yeah, where are
I'm
you
just
going to
saying,
find the
where
time?
am I going to find the time? So that was my biggest thing is where, as much as I do want to try this, where am I going to find the time? Because it's hard enough to find good
Yeah,
gaming time as it is. You know what I mean? So,
100%.
but I'm excited about it. To see what all the hoopla was about all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Okay. You've sent me something. Let's go have a nosy. Just just neglect everything in your life and do what all gamers do. And I'm kidding. Which
Yeah.
is never talk to anyone and just play the game that you want to play. All right, I'm gonna go have a look. Fuck you. I'm gonna go have a look. Nero, is there anything else that you wanted added to the conversation about Oblivion? I know that a lot of our community who've played the game or at least understand how important the Elder Scrolls universe is are very excited to see what gets delivered based on these leaks and rumors and such.
No, only thing I'm gonna say is pull the trigger and hurry up and do it. Get it to me. It's a day one. It's easy buy. It's easy support, man. It's a day one in Game Pass and day one buying on any other platform it comes to that I have. I mean, I just do it. Do it and don't just stop there because success is gonna be huge. So go ahead and remaster Fallout 4. I mean, not 4, but remake Fallout 3 while you at it. Maybe New Vegas before you flirt with a New Vegas 2 that we all want and deserve. So I'm all for it. And I'm also all for this next piece of quick news.
Oh,
The
one
rumor,
second. Fuck you has really just wanted. He really wants me to just kind of show you this. I'm not going to play the music because it's probably copyrighted. But you'll get the gist anyway. If you're a Mr. Bean fan.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Look at the moves, man. Look at the moves.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'll just play it again for everybody. Yeah.
Look at that leg. Look at that leg rub. Look how he moved his hands up them legs so seductively.
Rowan Atkinson, eh? He's just so fantastic.
Fuck you,
Sorry. Fuck you. Just you know he's gonna stop trolling you when we finally get you on cam or the like.
No, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, because he's gonna have
Yeah, it
access
might
to
get
your
worse.
phone.
That excuse is so not working. Like that.
But
It might get worse.
I think he'll be more even keel with trolling Soul and I.
Nah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think that's the case.
Ever since I
Um,
dominated Far Q in that one round of Halo that he will not remember and will deny that ever happened a couple years ago, I've just been his number one target. I've been his number one victim, and it's all right. The things I've done to him in that Halo game that totally happened a couple years ago that he don't remember, it's okay. Get over it, dude. I whooped Panda and I whooped Retri in that same game that they also don't remember that I'm
wait,
not
what
making up.
game?
Exactly.
What game was
Exactly.
this? What was this, Nero?
Exactly. Look at her.
Huh?
Yo, she's playing
What game
so.
is this,
Yo,
Nero?
she is such a
What
manipulator,
game?
yo.
Did you say Halo?
Yeah, Halo, Hyper. Come on,
Did you
man. Like
say
you don't
Halo?
remember those? You don't remember those matches?
Richie and I are like almost even keel on Halo.
Look, the
Like
things
sometimes he'll beat me and sometimes I'll beat him. We're like so even keel on that.
I'm gonna
And
call
and
out Retri because he's not
Hypercharged,
here to
you got
defend us.
owned on
Look,
Hypercharged.
listen,
Mind you,
the
Richie and I were
things I
pretty.
would do to Retri Spartan in Halo, like you would turn a corner and see me doing things to his Spartan that would
Oh wow.
traumatize. It will traumatize
Wow.
you. You will not be able
I
to
did
sleep.
not know they allowed pigging in Halo.
It's gonna be that and some
Ooh.
other things as well.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
everybody. I'm so
I'm traumatized.
Oh,
Wow.
this is why I shouldn't be involved with anything
I
to
say
do with
all that to
making
say
video
shout out
games.
Far Q, man. Son of a gun.
Oh. He said he'll stop for at least 1 month. There you go. He said he'll give you 1 month of reprieve, Nero, if you go on cam.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
Oh,
Far Q is a menace.
oh, yeah, I love you. Fuck you. It's so funny. Okay, all right. Sorry, what was our next piece of news? I'll get to it.
Ubisoft is remaking Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and it releases sooner than we all might think. Some are saying it could release as early as November 2025. And yo, I love Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Like, yo, that game was amazing. I think that was one of the first Assassin's Creed games where you can dive underwater. So I don't know if you remember, but in Black Flag you had to upgrade your ship, and you get this big bell thingy that drops in the water and it keeps air. So when you go deep down in the ocean, you can go in there, you can breathe, and then you come back out. But
You mean you weren't doing the Pirates of the Caribbean thing where they're carrying the boat underneath the water, breathing the air? It's not a Jack Sparrow situation.
that probably would have been dope if they would have done that. But no, it's not that, sadly. But I'm
Oh,
all for it, man. A Black Flag remake. I'm excited for it. That might make me not rush to go try that Like a Dragon pirate game that's coming out.
Mm.
yes.
I will just save my money and stick just Black Flag. Are you guys excited for this remake?
Yes and no. I'll explain yes and I'll explain no. But Soul, you didn't get to go first last time because I know you were pretending it was your mic, but really your voice crapped out, right?
Excuse, don't do that.
You're like Ariel in The Little Mermaid trying to talk and nothing's coming
Mm.
out.
Oh my gosh! Look at this place. Oh, let me stop. Let me stop.
Fucking hell. I love it.
don't, because I will bust out into the song. I know all of it.
I bet you do. Yeah.
Yeah. And this was before I had a kid. Hey, I'm a big kid myself. No,
Hello, money.
Black Flag. Um, you know what? Here's the thing. It's hard for me to go back to games that I've put down, and no matter how much I like them. So that's why the Sony one and dones never bother me. But
That's why shorter experiences are nicer, right?
it's
Sometimes you're
yeah,
just like, done, move on.
yeah. So I can take it or leave it. I'll tell you what, if it hits Game Pass, I'll definitely take a look at it. But I
Mm.
don't think I'm going to put any money into it, to be perfectly honest. But I would like
Fair
to see
point.
how they, if they improve the game mechanics any. I'm sure they'll shine it up, make it all nice and shiny, look real
Yeah.
new. And it'll be something
Well,
worth for a lot of people who really like that formula. They will, because that's kind of like the start of the Assassin's Creed that we know now, venturing from the norm. So I'm excited to see how that looks.
yeah. I think, like, I'm excited to see what they do deliver, because I think that they could definitely find a good balance between some of the old mechanics from the Assassin's Creed game, because it still had old mechanics in it, and some of the newer ones from the newer games. Specifically, I think it's interesting to see that Ubisoft is putting money into this when they could have just done this in the past instead of delivering Skull and Bones. Like,
There
all
you
that
go.
time, money wasted, all of those studios all those support studios were helping deliver this game of Skull and Bones when they could have been helping deliver something else. So I feel like Ubisoft has done some of their own stuff to themselves around like mismanagement and like some of the games that they should have never been putting time and energy into. I get people wanted more time on the sea, but you had a game that could have delivered or done some type of sequel or whatever you wanted to do with it. So I think Black Flag definitely needs at least some more love, because it was right on the cusp of delivering from, what was it? It was 360 to Xbox One generation, right? It was right on that cusp. So yes, it looked better on Xbox One and PS4, but as a result of when it was delivered, it never got the love that some of the other games did that were on like the 360 that launched. So I'm thinking of things like the original Tomb Raider, the definitive edition. They they charged you to get that, but they spent a lot more time and energy delivering an updated version for the Xbox One and PS4. So you got to take advantage of the newer hardware at the time during that gen. And there was a few other companies that did that, where they delivered a definitive version for last gen. And this game just didn't feel like it got that same level of love and support as some other games did. And they could have made more money off it. The reason why I'm not excited, overly excited for this game, is I don't actually particularly like playing games where you're playing on the open water. I don't like water combat or ship combat. Doesn't interest me. Every time I do it, it's not really my cup of tea. I like Sea of Thieves, but I do not like the water combat side of it. Like, that is more of a simulator where you actually sail in the boat, adjusting all the masts, and you have a lot more like intricate control. But like hunting for treasure and messing around with each other and all of that, that is a like doing the tall tales and the stories of there, and you get off your ship and that's when you go and experience whatever you're experiencing, or you go underwater into wherever you're going into underwater for. Very different game. But like, I never liked it in Assassin's Creed 3. I didn't like it in Origins. I absolutely couldn't stand it in Odyssey. And I just don't care for it. I'm more of a on the ground run around type person. Like, when I play video games, I'm just not into water combat. It's not me. And I get some people absolutely love it. And when this game came out, it was like the epitome, but that's just how I feel. I've never enjoyed it. It actually just gives me a lot of anxiety and stress. And the moment I get off that boat, I'm like, breathe. Now I'm playing a standard Assassin's Creed game. But yeah, so I think it does need it. I would like to give it I will still give it another go. I will just try and spend as little time on the ocean as possible. Yeah, that's what I did with Odyssey. I spent as little time on the ocean as possible. I did as little combat in the ocean. I only did combat when you had to do it in the ocean.
When you had to do it, yeah.
When you had to do it. Other than that, I didn't want to be doing combat on the ocean. I was like, nah, I avoid it like the plague.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case for some, like, you're the same there, Soul. But I know, like, some people love the combat, and I feel like for those people who love the combat and the story of Black Flag, definitely deserve it to be brought into modern day and deliver what Skull and Bones was trying to deliver on, but in an IP that actually gamers care about. They care about Assassin's Creed. They didn't care about Black Flag. Oh, not Black Flag. Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'll
Black
say
Flag.
this too. I only care about ship combat in Assassin's Creed games with this game. I didn't like it in 3. I didn't like it in Odyssey. I didn't like it in Valhalla. I don't like it in no other games, and the only reason I liked it in this game is because it felt in place. It makes sense. You're a damn pirate turned
Singing
assassin, but
pirate
still really,
shanties and all of
yeah,
that,
you
right?
know, like all of that was just really fitting
It
and
made
just really
sense.
a vibe. And like I said, having that underwater aspect include, diving old shipwrecks and stuff like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this would definitely be one of those ones I buy rather sooner than later. Probably the first sale it go on, I would probably pick it up. um I just love Black Flag, man. Really good game. So to see that modernized, and especially the way Assassin's Creed Shadows is looking, that game is looking absolutely
Mm.
insane. So if it's the same engine, if it's next gen only, like this current one is, I'm all for it. Ubisoft, good luck. Rooting for them.
Well, I just love that it's not a remaster at this stage. It's talking about it being a remake, and those are two very vastly different things. And we've heard from like other companies that are like, we're building it from the ground up, and then they're like calling it a remake, and it just doesn't feel like they remade anything. And if they did, it feels like they made it worse. The
Hmm.
the, the noticeable difference between the original versus the current is negligible and doesn't really feel like people were getting their money's worth with them attaching the word remake to the title. Like, if it was a remaster, yes, you're improving the visuals, you're doing that. But a remake really feels like you've gone in, had a look at all the gameplay stuff, and you're really improving on what you realized, or even feedback from the community on what could have been done better, and you're implementing it. And it just doesn't feel like some companies who are making remakes aren't delivering on what the promise a remake actually is, as in line with what is the expectation of what a remake is at its soul. So I think if they can deliver a proper remake for this, new visuals, everything like that, and improve on some of the things that maybe were a bit janky, like that's why I said finding that balance between what AC games used to be like and what they currently are like with the modern versus the old style and how they're delivering them, then you're probably going to get um, both fan bases of those games. I like them all, but like both sides going, yes, this is a game we can all get behind. And I think it's a smart choice. AC Shadows, can't wait. I think this is a smart choice around knowing that people do love this game and want it being brought forward into modern day a bit more. And Ubisoft need the money, so it kind of makes sense that they would go with this game. Yeah.
Well, they got a money maker in Division, and we don't see a Division 3 yet.
Hey,
So
it's been confirmed that they are working on it though.
they got to do something with that, because that would be such a waste of an IP if they don't do something with that. They had something golden with Wildlands Ghost Recon. I really wasn't a fan of the next one,
Can I
Breakpoint.
can I ask though?
Yeah, go ahead, ask.
Out of Division 1 and 2, and I'm asking the chat, if you've played both Division 1 and 2, which one did you like more? Sorry,
Mm.
random question, but did you have a preference? I know I definitely have a preference, and I'll tell everyone what it is shortly, but I just want to ask what everyone else thought about it.
I'll say this: I did not play Division 1. I only played Division 2, but I would tell you right now, I probably would prefer Division 1 just because the environment, that snowy New York atmosphere. I wish I didn't miss out on that.
One, yeah, you missed out on that one.
You missed out on that,
You
yeah.
missed out on that, man. I would go with 1, but I do like some things that they did in 2, gameplay wise, and I just wish that, I hope in 3 they really take the best of 1, and they really got 1 to a great place before they went to 2, and they really didn't need to go to 2, to be perfectly honest, right?
Yeah,
But I hope that they take the best of 1 and the best of 2, and that's what they give us in 3.
I
Don't
agree.
make sure it's not bloated though. We just don't need anything bloated, but we need a good, solid, tight campaign. The story, I think, for both are pretty good. If they can follow along with that, that would be dope. And since, hey, they were supposed to have a TV series with that, right? This would be
Yeah,
a great time. This would be a great time. TV, 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 right?
to deliver
To
it.
to deliver that. and I think they
It's
would
got a
have
good
something.
story, right? So yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good story. They had the whole smartwatch thing going on, and all that stuff that you get, kind of add into it. I wish that they would do that. That's where I wish Ubisoft would go ahead and put their funding into some of these games that they've kind of pushed to the
I
wayside.
think I think you were
Those,
so right about a TV show though. Like
no, I think it
especially
would
like
hit right now. It would
you
hit.
could get you could get a little bit of what before happened to New York and what led to that, and then go into the full blown them all being activated and
Yeah,
just draw that out a little bit
yeah.
because a movie you wouldn't want it to be too short of an experience.
Yeah, yeah, it's got to be like a series. Washington D.C. wasn't a bad choice. I don't think it really was, but I hate the fact that they kind of took that whole snowy atmosphere and all those different the weather elements out of that, and I think that would have been a really good deal. There's still so many people who actually play survival right now, making those runs, and it is absolutely fantastic. I just wish that they would. I hope that they get 3 right. Let me just say that. So if canceling Heartlands is going to help that, that's great. Um, as far as the division is concerned, with their other IPs that they kind of put to the wayside, I was a big Watchdog fan, and as much as I liked but kind of loathed, how about that? Aiden Pierce from Watch
Mm.
Dogs. I kind of want to see what he's up to. If you want to remake something, remake that. Give us the graphic fidelity that you sold us years ago with Watch Dogs.
Well, they
Right? You
did the
can
same thing with the Division One and what we saw on the
true. Right. They did. They
Ubisoft.
did.
Why?
They really did, right? But if you want to remake something like that, go back and do that. Or how about we just actually expand on Immortals?
Yeah,
That game, great game. And I know it came from Odyssey. Or yeah, Odyssey. Yeah, like leftover from Odyssey or whatnot. But why not give us that? Because the art style, the gameplay, all of that was really, really good. And I think they had something. But again, I'll say it again, they've just thrown it to the wayside. So
yeah.
Ubisoft, they need a win. They need to get it together. But I do think they're going to have a win with Assassin's Creed Shadows. What I see, I like
Yes,
what I
what
see.
I
I am
see, I
very
like
interested in
it too.
playing that game. So
I like it too. I definitely do. I just very quickly. I also was. I do have a lot more love for Division One than Division Two. I don't know. I think it was the setting. I felt like in New York, you felt very closed in. Like everything was so tall and like. I think there were some great improvements in number two, but I don't know. The story just didn't hit as much. I feel like the storytelling in number one was better,
yeah,
and you felt sort of when you went and found those echoes to
hmm
understand what had been happening around this and through the mission stuff, and then you got to find out how it actually started. That was the way they delivered that. I feel was much more impactful than what we got in Division Two. So I think Division Three needs to up its game on that and deliver what we loved about the Division One, but give us the improvements that came from Division Two and deliver that
yeah,
into a beautiful package.
yeah.
Yeah. You're rooting for a success, try hard. I'm sorry to hear that the internet feel. Yes, I agree. The internet feel. I read it when I was reading it. My internet feels. The internet feels very much against this game. Yes, it does feel like they're hoping it fails.
Yeah.
I do agree. But I think that there are some people who just, for those who are wanting another experience like this, who are, I'm not going to say real gamers, but essentially just not looking at the other side of it and just looking at it as a game as a whole, they're willing to play it because that's how they look at games and that's how they approach games. That's who I'm going in. I don't care about all the stuff that's happening around it because it's an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
And I do not have major concerns about them delivering an Assassin's Creed experience with an Assassin's Creed game because they have so much history showing of all the games that they've delivered, and we still show up for them because we like them. They're great for stealth. They're great for just being in a different culture or experience and then telling a different story, but knowing that you're still part of the Brotherhood and all of this. There's a side to it that you get from that. Yeah.
you know, the internet is just full of trolls, and it's full of uh, um, very petty people who don't have much going on. Let's just be real. Some of those, we have a loud minority. How about that? The game looks awesome. I love the concept, and if you just want to get down to it, you know, the two protagonists. You
Yeah.
change those protagonists, you're not going to hear all this shit that you hear right now. Let's just be real about it. I haven't seen a game that people came out the woodworks and they were so concerned about the accuracy of history.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just be real.
Yep.
So that's all it is. And so you know what I say to that? Fuck them. Excuse my language.
Yep.
That's it.
Blame
So
you.
it is what it is. And I think we're at a point now where we're beating that over the head. I'm excited about it. And I think, like I was telling you earlier, Panda, that's one of the few games that I was like, you know what? That's a day one purchase for me. But I'm a
It's
Ubisoft
one I'm
fan.
going to spend some money on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
Gonna
fan.
spend
I'm a
some money
fan of
on.
their product. You know, I like what they deliver because I have always had great experiences with those games that I have purchased for them. So
Mm.
yeah, you know, I can't complain about that. So it
Okay.
is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. What it is.
It
What it is.
is what it is. I'm
All
excited.
right. We haven't talked about this game in I feel like a little while. I actually haven't been playing this game in a little while. I don't feel like a lot of us who have been like hardcore Diablo fans have been going in and back to play this game. But they do have a new season coming out called Season of Witchcraft. You're going to get some things that you will be familiar with from Diablo 3, which is like the fire jars and spiders and things like that you'll remember from the Witch Doctor character. So there's new enemies, enhanced whispers, witchcraft powers, new armory system. So there are some improvements there. I feel like we still, I don't know when we're going to get our next class, but I would like them to deliver a new class sometime this year, and on a more regular basis. Because if you want to play Path of Exile 2 right now, yes, you're in preview, but there's like 6 classes to begin with, and there are going to be more classes at launch when the game releases. And I'm like, and Diablo just gave us a lowly small amount. I want more classes. Like there's more classes that you could have brought from number 3 through, and just already have that because people have love for those classes who played number 3. There's some classes I feel like that could have been delivered at some of the previous titles, Diablo 2. But yeah, there's just some things that could have been pulled forward because they have those classes and give people more choice. And it just means that the gameplay is more dynamic.
Mhm.
Not everyone's running the exact same class or the exact same builds.
The old
Yeah, it just seems like there just needs a little bit more. What's the word? Diversity of gameplay in there
Yeah.
around how people choose to play Diablo, and I feel like some more classes would help with that. I'm excited for the new season. I know this is just a quick news thing. Did anyone want to quickly touch on anything that I talked about or talk about this? Because I know you added this as a topic, Nero, and I really appreciate that. Yeah.
I'm just. I think I might just be a little burnt out on Diablo, especially after the Spiritborn edition and the expansion last season. So I think, and that's okay because even the developers said it themselves when the game first released. It's okay. It's totally okay to skip a whole season or two and come back at a later time. You don't want to burn yourself out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for it to do well, but I'm not quite sure if I'm excited to hop into it. And that's mostly because of Avowed dropping really soon. Like I said, I've been in a platformer game since beating Astrobot, so I'm about to grab Sonic Origins as well. That's like
Have you
12
played through
bucks.
both Oris? I assume you have.
I played through a lot of the second one. I did not lock into the first one yet.
You never played the
So
first one?
nope. Went right to the second one. Never played the first one.
I'm halfway
Actually,
through the
I think
second
I
one.
did. Wasn't the first one 8K 60 on the One X? I actually think I did because that was one of those games where I wanted
I
to
don't
put the
think
console
so.
to. one of those games was either 4K. It was one of those games was used to showcase the One X when that first came.
I feel like it was
generation.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, it might have been that one.
Yeah,
but,
Blind Forest.
Yeah,
definitely great games, but just
No
Metrovanias for me is kind of like that. Those are two of the goated ones. Granted, so don't take me wrong on that. But that whole genre as a whole, for me, is hit or miss. Like Prince of Persia really hit for me this year, so it's definitely hit or miss. The last case of Benedict Fox, I really enjoyed that as well, even though it had some problems.
It had some clunky controls.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it. Yeah.
So I picked up the Ori the two of them on sale, I think the end of last year. So I'm definitely gonna lock in and play those. Like I said, I just been in a little more chill mood, and this is random as well, right? So for anybody that play Apex Legends out there, it's two things that's really, really, really hard to get in the game. And that's the 4K damage badge and the 20 kill badge. I just put on Twitter not too long ago, I'm about to retire from multiplayer games for a while because it's honestly frustrating. Dumbass random teammates, skill based matchmaking, and every shooter I fucking step in after having a few good games. It's just like, yo, I'd rather play something peaceful. I'd rather play something relaxful. I'd rather go play that.
Matchmaking is horrible.
It's ruining everything. Even fighting games is getting hit with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as far as the cat, and for one, I don't even have my right hand don't operate fully. So for me to go out here and give my all in every game, and then it's motherfuckers on the other end that's completely two healthy hands and just complete ass.
I kind of wished that they have and people did this more. They just had lobbies that were just. I feel like this is a thing, but people need to do it more. Like lobbies for the people who do want to really go nuts, who are super skilled. Versus those who just want to play casual. I understand that some of those people with lots of kills will come in and kill those people who just want to play more casually, but it just means that there's probably going to be a lot more people playing there for those who do not want to be dealing with some of the skilled based matchmaking, because sometimes you just want to chill out
and you don't want to chill.
You don't want to have to be on your game every single match.
I'll put it like this, right? Panda don't want to hop on Halo every night and go against the NextGenNero. I don't want to hop on Halo every night and go against a Red Dead Panda, right? But it will be different if we go against each other every night, but we had teammates that was equivalent to having a Panda on my team or a Nero on her team. We don't deal with that. We get brain dead teammates, and then we're literally one or two of the only good people on the team. It's ridiculous. But the reason I even said all of that to begin with is I got the 4K badge in Apex Legends, actually 4,800 damage, and I got 18 kills. So 2 kills away from the badge I want, which is 20 kills. And remember, I've been playing Apex for 4 or 5 years now. Even the homie Demo Flow, I'm not sure if he got it either. The only dude I know personally who got those badges, I think, is UFO Vinny. Shout out to the homie Vinny. He's been on the podcast in the past, so he's the only person I know. My little brother got it as well, but I don't know how my little brother got it, and it took me this long. I don't know what he got going on that Xbox Series S, but I call BS. But I only wanted to highlight that because I said I was giving up on multiplayer games, Panda, and then I turn around and have literally the best game in my career, in my documented Apex career. It's like, geez, the game would never let me walk away. And then the next
match, they'll be like, he did so well, skill-based matchmaking.
Skill-based matchmaking, baby.
Get destroyed in the next game, and you're like, what is this?
And that's why, I wish some games would succeed, because that's what X Defiant was so harped on, right? Not having skill-based matchmaking, which I think is really cool, really dope. But, you still get sweaty people. If you're good, you're good. You're going to get matched with good people regardless, man. So
I used to play Plants vs Zombies, 1 and 2, the multiplayer ones that EA put out. I feel like it was EA, and even the whatever the neighborhood one was. But in the first game, there was, you could pick which one you wanted to enter into, and they had a Welcome to the Neighborhood one map. So you could pick that map, and that was only available to those who hadn't played these, a third-person shooter or whatever, and you got to go in there. And so everyone's crap. Occasionally you get someone who was just going in there to kind of test out their stuff. But you could have fun, like, and as you got better, it got easier. And then all the other maps were set up for just playing with however many per map based on the game mode. But I highly love those third-person Plants vs Zombie games. If you haven't
I
played them, they
definitely,
were great.
I'm gonna have to check those out because I used to love those. I can't. Where did I used to play those at? I'm not sure if it was on my phone back in the day, on a tablet, but I just remember spending hours and hours on a smaller device just playing those games. And when they came to consoles, because I believe there was phone games before they like grew so big to be on
Yeah, they were
consoles.
like
I
little
might be
app
wrong
things,
about that.
right? Where you
Yeah,
just
they
it
was.
was
Yep.
more like it was kind of sort of like a tower defense game, but not, and
Mm-hmm.
you just have waves of enemies, and you had to
Yep.
like just
Yep.
keep um taking them out. Yeah.
But I only went on that rant to end the Diablo thing is because, man, play games for your peace, man. If a game is giving you a hard time, whether it's skill based matchmaking or whether you driving yourself crazy in Diablo farming, trying to get a specific thing that you can't get, remember, guys, gaming is for peace and relaxation. If you're getting a headache, if you're arguing with your bros, ain't nothing wrong with being competitive, ain't nothing wrong with pushing each other, but it's all right to take a break, man. There's so many good games coming. Microsoft is killing it with RPGs, all gen so far, and they're gonna continue killing it this year with Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed. It's just Panda, like as more time go on, like Soul said, where do I get the time for one? And then for two, would I
Yeah.
rather get on the multiplayer game and get off in 3 hours with a headache, annoyed and frustrated, with only getting 2 wins to show for it out of 50 fucking
No.
games? Or would I rather go put 3-4 hours into something like a Boulder's Gate or
Yeah.
or Diablo or Assassin's Creed Shadows? I'm at the age and point now where it's like, man, screw that, bro. I'd rather just go play some games and relax, man, enjoy,
Yeah.
personally. But teach their own, man.
I couldn't agree more with you. I am just looking for something in the background. But what came up, and we're going to kick into some main topics. I'm still waiting for the Black Viking to join us. Hopefully, I actually should just message him to see how far away he is. How's things going? But we know that we've got the developers direct next week, and we do have Jay Duke joining us next week as a guest for that show. There was some details that came out from Jez Corden, and basically he had something to say about the mystery game that is meant to be announced there, and he said he doesn't want to spoil what it is, but our sources indicate that it is a new entry in a legendary Japanese IP which has decades of history and should make a lot of fans happy. And so that's what he had put out there, and everyone is now speculating as to what this Japanese IP could possibly be. Lots of names have been thrown up into the ether around that. If you've watched all the different podcasts or been on Twitter or Blue Sky or anything like that, you'll see that there's quite a bit of discourse happening around what this game could be. Some people, I think, do know what it is, and such. But yeah, I just wanted to throw to Nero. What do you think this game could be? And then we can hear from Soul as well. Hi, J Duke. Lots of chatter about Avowed being delayed, but I call BS. Yes, there has been lots of chatter on that very quickly. We can talk about that in a moment. I'll get this topic out of the way for the potential game that it could be. Yeah, Nero, what are your thoughts on?
So I got two guesses. I'm thinking maybe something a new Blue Dragon, or maybe a Blue Dragon remake or something like that, or maybe a Lost Odyssey remake or remaster, or
Yeah.
I think Lyric was talking about it earlier. Maybe Jade Empire. We was just throwing a few things around. I'm very intrigued. I will say this year I told myself I want to play more JRPGs. This is no slander. Try hard to Final Fantasy 16, but these JRPGs sometimes drag on a tad bit longer than what they need to. So if it's any JRPG type of game that's about to be announced, I would check it out because I am committed to expanding my knowledge and gaming pedigree deeper into that specific genre. But I will say some of those games tend to lead on a little longer than what they should. You know, they definitely drag out, and I don't think it's just the Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 or even a Final Fantasy thing in general. I think it's just that franchise from what I played and experienced. You know, those they one thing you can't say right about those type of games or Ubisoft games is that you don't get your damn money's worth. You get your money's worth. You know,
You
I think
definitely do.
I got a Final Fantasy 16 for I think $29.99 on sale last year when I first got my PlayStation, and I'm about 40 hours in and about 73% done with the game. Yo, I got my damn $30 worth and then some. So you get your money's worth. But those are my two things. I was trying to think like what type of Japanese titles, right, is really historically known with Xbox. And I tried to think about because last generation I can't really think of any at all. So I went back to that 360 generation and started thinking. And I know Lost Odyssey was huge with people, and then that Blue Dragon game. Is that the name of it, Panda Soul? Am I saying it right? Is it Blue Dragon? Or
I think you're right. I think you
because
are correct.
they added a wallpaper last year on Xbox to celebrate the anniversary or something. So it's a Blue Dragon dynamic live wallpaper added on Xbox last year. They kind of stealth dropped it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So that was my two guesses. What about you? So what you think?
Well, like I told Panda earlier, I think it's going to be. Well, maybe it's just me hoping. No, let me try to get a little energy. I'm trying to perk it up. Ninja Gaiden. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I'll tell you what. I was telling Panda that damn game, and I want to say that had to been about 2004. I could be off. That was probably the first game, and I'm talking about out of all the whole old school Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all of that, those hard ass games. That was probably the first game that made me rage quit. And the only game that has made me rage quit. I didn't even rage quit over Elden Ring. And I know people are like, well, Elden Ring wasn't just your true traditional Souls game. That shit was hard enough for me. How about that? Okay, because my fast twitch don't twitch no more. Not like it used to. But that damn Ninja Gaiden, it was something else. But it was beautiful and I absolutely loved it. And I would love for a new entry into that. So I'm hoping that's what we're getting. I don't know about now the Blue Dragon though. That could that could be that's pretty solid as a guess. I think that's pretty solid as a guess. But for me, I'm hoping it's Ninja Gaiden because I think that would be I think now is a good time to reintroduce the ninja. How about that? And I know we kind of already talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I think it'd be now a good time to reintroduce the ninja. You know, so hopefully that's what we're getting. And I don't know because there's so much speculation behind it. I'll tell you what I could care less about as far as the Japanese games are concerned. I don't give two shits about any Final Fantasy game. Not a one. So I know it's not that. I know we're getting some of those games later, but I just want to put my feelings out there, you know, about Final Fantasy. If we had a button that said we don't give a F, I would hit it right about now. But Ninja Gaiden all the way. Let's go. Let's get it. Ryu.
I am also sort of sitting there thinking, is it Ninja Gaiden? Like I was hoping that would be. I was hoping it would be that because it hasn't really had a new game in such a long time. We know that there is a lot of love for the people who played the original titles. There are a lot of people who've never played the series. And so it would be nice to introduce them to that. And here's kind of my thinking why that's a new Ninja Gaiden game was just because we now have those definitive versions being released. Was it like a package? Was it 1, 2, and 3? I can't remember.
And they came to Game Pass,
That's very recent. And I feel like maybe that's leading into, and then you'll get an announcement for the next one. So maybe people go back and replay these old titles, and then they get to look forward to a new Ninja Gaiden. Maybe, who knows? But that's what I was thinking. It could be in relation to this. Yeah, that's my hope. I think I maybe played one of them once, and it was right when I was actually fully getting into like serious about gaming. So it was right before then, and it just didn't sit well with me at the time. But I have grown so much as a gamer that I feel like I would be quite happy to go back and now play those games. But would I want to go back? I don't know. Or would I just maybe play a new one? Who knows? Depends. Sell me on it. Sell me on it. So, yeah, I didn't think there was going to be a lot of discussion around that in the space, and I know that a lot of other people think it could be anything else. Like Lyric saying he wants Tenshu. I think someone else said that they think it is Ninja Gaiden. Who knows what it could be? But I do love the fact that because this is a Xbox developer direct around their ecosystem, and it was going to showcase Game Pass and all this other stuff, that it's just another piece of the puzzle around them encouraging Japanese gamers to go over and try their ecosystem.
Right.
I feel like such a good way, a good stage to show off a Japanese IP when they know PlayStation is quiet at the moment. The eyes are looking over at what is Xbox doing, because PlayStation is quiet.
Well, maybe they when we find out whatever this is, maybe we'll get some kind of idea for this Japanese game and its release date. Now they're not going to give us a date. Nah, we know that, but maybe it'll start the speculation train of this thing being released about the time that the handheld would be released, because we do know that there's a lot of handheld gamers or mobile gamers in that area of the world. So just maybe it might be smart to release that game to bring those folks right on either into back in or take a look at the ecosystem that maybe normally
Yeah.
wouldn't, because now there is a point of entry. We have more games that is appealing, that are appealing, and then also we have a handheld that makes it gaming on the game more appealing. So who knows? I'm excited about it, and I was just thinking as you were speaking of how Shinobi is making a comeback. So why not Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah.
Shinobi is making a comeback. So who knows? I'm excited to see. I kind of, unlike you, somebody could tell me right now, and I'd be like, great. As far somebody could tell.
Oh yes, I did have an opportunity to find out what this game was, and I chose not to.
Yeah,
I
I
want
mean,
to experience and enjoy it as any one of our like any gamer would when they're hearing the news for the first time. I don't want it to be spoiled for me. Like
I hear
I
you.
want the full experience. Like when we got to see indie announced, and we didn't know that they were working on an indie game.
Right.
That reaction, the emotion that was attached to that, I was like, yes, like I'm so here for it. Hello, Happy Cloud Gamer. Would we see a sneak behind the scenes of new games from Double Fine? I don't think we will, actually. Would be nice to. I think the first thing we're going to hear about from Double Fine, now that it isn't being mentioned in the developer direct at all, is we're probably going to see something from them maybe this E3, I think. I say you know what I mean. Middle of the year, Xbox showcase. I feel like that's probably where they're going to deliver Double Fine, its next game. Because I feel like they've been sitting there quiet for so long. And that's how I was feeling about Compulsion Games. And when we finally got something and they announced South and Midnight, I was like, finally. And I feel like everyone's kind of like, what's Double Fine doing?
I'll tell you what Double Fine doing. They doing whatever they want to do.
Exactly.
Literally, Xbox went to them, say, "Yo, y'all do really good with Banjo." They said, "Nah, we not doing that shit." And Xbox said,
No.
"All right, hey, all right, we trust you guys." So I trust them too. I think we may see some Double Fine at the at the Game Awards, right? Not the Game Awards, but the summer showcase from Xbox. And that's why I love these developer directs, because 9 times out of 10, whatever you see at this developer direct, you won't double down and see again at the uh, summer showcase. So knowing that I don't got to see it, well, Vow to be released by then, obviously, but just some of the games that you just like, all right, well, I don't got to worry about seeing those. So now those are checked off, and if they announcing new games, which they tend to do, like they're doing it this show, and they did it with Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
If it's a first party game, I will say I'm not too keen on the stealth drops, especially after the Hi-Fi Rush situation. Granted, that was a different type of game, unique rhythm style, but once again, all you gamers, motherfuckers beg for different stuff all the time. You guys beg for unique experiences all the time, other
Then
than walking simulators and COD.
Then they don't play them or buy them.
And then they don't play them or buy them, just like Astrobot. Sonic Shadow Generation sold 3 million within the first month. Right? Hopefully, I'm praying Astrobot is at 3 million. Lord knows, it's 70 million, close to 70 million PS5s. That game deserves at least 5
You would
million
think.
units sold. You would think. That's not even asking more than 5% of the player base.
You would think. But you know what you don't have to worry about on and when you go to Nintendo Nero, they support those damn titles.
Yep.
At full ass price.
And I'm gonna tell people, as somebody that's trying to, like, it's hard for me to trust PlayStation. I trusted them with Days Gone. I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro for that game. I believe the marketing had lived up to my expectations. I actually succeeded it. I loved it. Didn't get supported, not getting another sequel. So I'm kind of traumatized when you forcing Horizon down my throat every turn and corner. When I look up, it's a Horizon Lego game. It's a movie. It's a series. It's a Hulu series. It's a Netflix series movie on the way. Nobody's asking for that. We're asking for a Days Gone. We are asking for you to treat Astrobot with some type of dignity, because Lord knows you haven't done it before. Sly, Jax, like just to name a few, and I will say, if we get another Ratchet and Clank game trailer or announcement before anything Sly Cooper related, I'm gonna lose my mind, because I started playing Sly 3 recently, and the writing in that game, right, it's just it's a tell of the times. That time period was just so good, and we took it for granted. It's not about wokeness. It's not about, we have to stop hiding bad writing behind wokeness. Nah. Bad writing is bad writing. It don't matter. You can put a gay lesbian couple in the game. If you got good writers, they're gonna write them into a god tier story. If you have bad writers, it's gonna be a bad story. So it's not so much as the content that's there. It's about these writers has gotten progressively worse in video games. And that's what people is not talking about. They want to hide it behind, it's agendas. No, motherfuckers been pushing agendas our entire life. You don't think agendas was being pushed during the PS3 and PS2 and PS4 era? No, they were. They just were so written so well that you're not going to notice them. Because a lot of you people is too dumb to notice agendas being pushed on you anyway. It's just that the writing nowadays in games is so dumbed down that the most brain dead idiots can realize that some shit is being pushed upon them, and here you go with the go broke crowd. You know what I'm saying? But the writing and slide, man, like that game would just make you chuckle, make you laugh. I don't remember doing that in the latest Ratchet and Clank games. I just don't. Do they have moments that's humorous? Of course. But overall, that humor from that era definitely needs to make a return. And I think that's what I loved about Psychonauts 2 so much too. Before I got distracted with that game, the writing was just really good. Really good. A game is really good where if you're a kid, it's gonna go over your head. But as an adult, you're gonna that's a sex reference, or that's a such and such reference. But it's hidden so well in the writing that it's accessible to kids and adults as well. Can both appreciate the game, and we don't get enough of that, man. So hopefully they get back to that, man.
Reese is rolling his eyes in the chat. Why? Is it because Nero's still talking, or because
Look,
Reese.
Reese don't want me to bring up his gamer tag. Like Reese really don't want me to take a stroll of all the games he's supposed to have finished by now. And he's on my back. Like Reese, give it a
Yeah.
break. All right.
um, um, how did we get onto that?
Hell, I don't
Oh
know. I
damn,
probably
that's
said
a
I
something.
good. That's a
don't know.
good.
Nero
That's
started
wow.
again.
I said something.
Like,
Guys,
I
Oh,
don't
he
know.
didn't even beat Psychonauts 2.
oh,
Oh,
great
That's
game.
cap.
oh,
That's cap. That's
oh,
cap. That's
Psychonauts
cap.
2 was great.
damn,
I did,
damn.
and I did finish it. I just was
What?
waiting for Reese to point
I
that
haven't even
out, so now I can
started
point out I did.
Psychonauts 2. How bad
It's
am
great.
Wait,
I?
you
It's
didn't
in my
start that, Panda?
backlog. It's in my
Oh,
backlog.
Panda,
Okay,
that's a good one.
I've only recently started to think that I kind of like platformers.
Understandable. Me
I
too.
mean, the OG platformers growing up were ridiculously hard. So I was like, don't like platformers. But there are some games which I am starting to go with. Maybe I do like them, but only very specific types of platformers based on that sort of gameplay
Panda, I think
mechanics.
I'm aging in reverse, but regularly, but in reverse. Like it don't make sense, right? So, all right, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved Spyro. I love Crash. As I got older, I kind of dropped those, like that meme, that Toy Story meme, where Andy dropping the toys. I don't want to play with you no more. I moved
Mm.
over to Manly Man games, the Gears, the Halos of the world, and I never looked back. But now here we are, just turned 26 last month, older, and I'm like, man, where is this newfound appreciation for these platformers coming back? And people can laugh at Astrobot all they want, just like people laughed at Psychonauts too. But when you have a platformer game come along, first of all, they so far and few in between. Outside of Psychonauts 2, what
They're calling you out in the
it's been
chat,
4
man.
years. They
Nero,
can hey,
they're
you know,
calling you out
hey,
for
let them,
grifting and
let
pony
them.
botting in the chat.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't
Console
care.
warring.
Astro Bot is a phenomenal game. Yes, I platinumed it, and I am really proud of that platinum because I guess some of the names for some of the biggest ponies on Twitter don't even got 3 trophies in there. But I'm gonna leave that at that. Let the console
um,
warriors destroy each other. You know what
I
I
just
mean?
want to. I know they're kind of talking about it in the chat around like Jay kind of called this out, and I also want to take acknowledgement of like what you're talking about around
Yeah,
the quality of.
wait. Who the hell made Lyric a moderator?
Probably from
Yeah,
ages ago,
and
to be honest.
why
I
is
do not have
Flaky
access
not
to
one?
my
Wait, how do I do that, yo? Because we gotta make some new. Why is my man's
but Jay Duke goes, you're right though. High on Life was so well received because it was hilarious. Quality writing and voices.
Yeah.
And I think that is why, like, if I look back on what you could do in like the Fable series, that was so much fun. The fact that you could get married and then like kill your spouse if you wanted,
Hmm.
like the fact that they had like sounds awful condoms in the game so you couldn't get sexually transmitted diseases.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, you
hashtag
like you
Raw
could
is
be
law?
good or evil.
Hmm.
Um, the evil gnomes is like one of my favorite things in Fable 3, and they also make like gendered jokes based on your gender. So if you're playing a female hero, they're like, "Are you lost? Can I help you find the kitchen?" And I was like, "Lol," and you're just hearing them like talk smack at you while
Oh
you're
wow!
walking around. Like so many things, and I'm like, games need to lean into that sort of humor. Why do we go to comedy shows as well? Like I love comedy shows because they talk some real stuff, they make
Right.
it funny, like things that you relate to. And like I feel like I agree, like there's so many different, I guess, levels of humor and authenticity in video games, and some of them just hit the mark and other times they just don't hit it as well as they should.
Yep.
Yeah. So agreed. I just wanted to hear my own voice because I love to hear myself speak.
I will say this, man. Welcome to the new mod squad. Hey, shout out to the mod squad, man. Got some new moderators down there. Try hard. I don't know what the hell took you so long to become a moderator, but hey, here you are. Reese, screw you against my better judgment. I have made you one as well. Lyric, I'm tempted to remove your moderation with the astro butt comment. That one, all right. That one, that's a good one. Almost as good as my astro flop title I gave it months ago. My apologies. But yeah, we got new moderators down there.
Mod.
I'll be forgetting about that to go. But the only way
Is
I can do it
Is
is I
Soul a
can't.
mod on it? Soul, are you a mod on the YouTube channel?
That's a good question.
Great question.
That's a
I
good
Um,
don't
question.
know. To
Just
be honest,
comment anything from your personal one, Soul, and I'll make sure you are if you're not whenever
yeah,
you
if
get a
you
chance.
comment from your personal into the YouTube chat, he'll mod you.
I'll open it back up. Okay, good deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. What am I doing with my life? I have no clue.
Just-
Oh, that's right. Our next topic. Our next topic. Okay.
Ooh, it's a
Give
good
me
one, y'all.
a second to get it ready. I hope this likes me because I was setting it up to do this. There was
Hooey,
a
yes.
gameplay trailer that showed this week that I think has really just got quite a lot of gamers' attention, and I'm just going to put it
As
on
it
in the
should.
background, as it should. And it's what Blood of the Dawnwalker,
Bandai
is that right?
Namco.
That's what it is, and it's coming from the people like involved with The Witcher, like someone who, the director from The Witcher 3. It's set in the 14th century. And if you want to know a little bit more about this game, there is like a sort of interview style that the developer has done, and they've talked a little bit more
Hmm.
about the game and added a bit more context about what you would be doing and like the dynamices of playing in the daytime versus playing at night. And what they've said is you have 30 days and 30 nights to save your family, and they don't sort of go, these are your objectives that you have to do in the order that you want to do it. They let you go out into the city and play the way you want to play. And think of it like sandboxy in that regard. That's what that's going to be doing. Um, and at the end of your 30 days and 30 nights, have you been able to save your family? And so I guess it's more around just allowing everyone to not have their own play, like have their, not allow everyone to experience the exact same thing in the order, and just let people all organically go through the game. And you'll be talking about something with one of your friends going, hey, did you do this? And like, no, I've done this. Oh, I haven't done this yet. And it's that sort of conversation that you want building up from a type of game like this. So there's a lot of discussions happening within our circles as to what we think about this game. So, Soul. What were your first impressions of the trailer? What are you excited for, or anything like that? I know it's just its first reveal. We will hear more about it later this year, mid-year. But yeah, Soul. How have you seen this trailer?
Yeah,
Have
I
you?
have. I'm just really looking at it again. It was a great trailer. I mean, the first time I watched it, I was just like, okay. But trailers suck you in, right? But I gotta see the gameplay. I mean, it looks great. It looks phenomenal from what we see here right now. But I really want to see more gameplay. I think it says what summer 2025 is when we're going to actually see more gameplay. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to see that. I hope that is highlighted on someone's show somewhere somehow. Um, but who doesn't love a good vampire game? Again, this let me tell you, but I hope it's not. I hope this is not what I imagined a new entry into the Soul Reaver series. I hope it's not, because then I'm just going to be pissed off that we didn't get this in Soul Reaver and Legacy of Kain or whatnot. So I hope it's great. For those who understood what I was trying to say, I hope this is great, and I hope this is a great vampire entry. But oh my gosh, if it's great, then I'm just going to really say to myself, like, um, they missed an opportunity to revitalize Soul Reaver. So it looks interesting. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in this game. They did give us like a 3 second clip of some gameplay. It looks like this long haired guy. It looks like him. Looks like he is gonna fight some 8-legged creature somewhere down here in the trailer. But that's like a quick blurb, and he just kind of whips around the same way they did here, and then the trailer cuts off. At least the gameplay does. So I'm interested in seeing more of that and see what kind of powers we get. Are there skill trees? Is it set? How vast is it? Is it an RPG, action RPG? What are we dealing with here? So I didn't get much from that, and I didn't watch that little developer deal. I started watching it this afternoon, but kind of turned it off. Had some other things I
Yeah.
had to do, so I'll need to go back and watch that. But it looks like it could be a winner. How about that?
Mm.
It looks like it could be a winner.
I think you're on. I mean, for this many gamers to kind of be quite intrigued by what it showed, kind of implies that, yeah, I think they're
Okay,
onto something.
so
Gotta
I'll
fix the
say this.
buffering. Fix
I,
it and
I
it's totally
yeah,
good.
I had a thought when I was watching this because the new game is the game that's going to drop this year. That's Crimson Desert, right? Is it Crimson Desert?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah. When I saw this, I said to myself, this and Crimson Desert are going to take up a lot of my time if the gameplay looks as great as Crimson Desert does. Because if it does, then I'm all in. Because I'm pretty sold on that right now.
Yeah, I know.
2025 is going to be bananas. Excuse me. I'm really getting jammed up, guys. But 2025 is going to be bananas. I just don't know where we're going to find the time to really sink our teeth into all these games. It's like it's just too much. It's too much. And then something's got to give. Something's going to get pushed back to 2026. But then if they go ahead and drop GTA in 2026, then what do we do?
I think hates.
Because that's going to take up a lot of time.
Mm.
This looks good though.
If my thing stops being silly with the buffering stuff, come on, fix yourself. I might have to adjust the quality, but I didn't want to. I wanted to keep it at where it was at.
Now, hold on, Panda. In the initial trailer, did they actually show gameplay? I know in
Yes.
that deal that they had today, I saw some gameplay. I don't remember seeing it the
I
first time
saw
through.
it.
I may have just missed it.
I saw it on the original one. Yeah, there was a
Okay,
little bit
I
of, and
just
I
missed
don't know if that was maybe this the original reveal because this is just the trailer, so I don't know if they're going to show the gameplay piece, and I can't remember.
right.
Once this fixes itself in the background, maybe I just go stop sharing for a second and see if I can play around with it.
Play with it, baby.
Get back here.
Nero, where'd you go, my man?
Yes, sorry, I'm just
I'm
playing
here.
around. Yeah,
I just wasn't sure if y'all was done.
yeah, no, you're good, Nero. What are your
Um,
thoughts? Because on this trailer, on the initial announcement for this game.
so I think it's really important to point out that this dev team, excuse me, guys, it's been a really long day, but this dev team is formed of former CD Project Red developers, just to name a few, and of other development teams that I fully trust and is a big fan of their games. So they have my trust. They have my benefit of the doubt. Like Soul said, it wasn't a lot of gameplay in here. The fact that he even had to question that should be proof enough. It was little snippets and like pieces of gameplay chopped in throughout. But I'm definitely sold. I just like the dynamicness between day and night. The fact that you only have 30 days. I hope it is an option to. I hope it has multiple endings, and since it is those CD devs, I think it will. You know, their games tend to have multiple endings, but it'll be dope to have endings where you just straight up fail.
Yeah.
You know, if I can come on here like, yo, Panda, you finished the what's the name of this again? With Dawnwalker,
Blood of
the
Dawnwalkers.
Blood of Dawnwalkers, right? Like, yo, did you finish that game, Panda? Yeah, man. Okay, I did too. What was your ending? Well, I didn't save my sister, and I kind of let a whole village kind of die, and man, that sucks. Well, I end up saving her and saving others, so it'll be dope, man. It kind of remind me of this one vampire game. What is it? Vampiric. Um, that is a really dope game. I put Reese on to that. Reese would not know about that game if it wasn't for me. Hopefully he give me my credit in the comments. But Vampiric was another really dope game, and I just feel like we don't get enough vampire games as it is, and I feel like that's one genre of enemies and even the horror aspect that could and should be tapped into a little bit more. Let me see.
Redfall.
Yeah, and that's why I was, because I was struggling to remember the name, but that's another reason I wish they did not give up on Redfall as quick as they did, because even the movements of the vampires in that game was really good. Just the way they move and just swift around the screen, like vampires is really OP when they're done right, but they can also be handled with ease if you prepare right. So I'm definitely excited to see the future of this. And like I said, former CD Project Red devs, anything from them people, I'm all in. I'm in support of. So I'm super excited. Did they give a time frame in which this is coming?
Just when that it was being, that we would get more gameplay. I think I'll try this again. My thing hates me
Just
today.
summer
Apparently,
25 is what they gave us, man.
when we're going to
As
be getting
far
like
as
a
Okay.
the gameplay. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I hope to see some more soon. And I can see this being a 2026, 2027 year. And that's why I keep saying gaming is good, because if this is 2026/7, right? I already know what games I'm looking forward to for those years. This,
yeah,
Intergalactic from Sony, and who is it? Naughty Dog. So I mean, that's just two games right there. Wolverine probably definitely won't be making the cut this year. I'm sorry, Reese. I'm sorry, Panda, but Fable probably won't make it this year. So I mean, 2026 is already looking stacked, right? And that's with or without GTA 6. It's looking good for next year, and it's looking good for this year. That's actually crazy to say out loud. 2025 and 2026 is both looking like great years for gaming, with or without GTA. If GTA come this year, fantastic. This is a historic year. If it don't, I still think this is a fantastic historic year. Just based on some of the things we're getting. First of all, the Switch 2 alone, you can't underestimate how huge that's about to be, especially as they start updating and releasing games for that system whenever it inevitably comes. And then just some of the other stuff that we're getting, even last year, the stuff that got announced, Witcher 4,
Hmm.
that's probably a 2026, 2027 type of game. And that's going to take us right into, guess what, next gen. So we're eating really good. And this is just another game I'm super excited for. It looks really good, looks really dope. I'm in there.
Yeah, looks fun. Um, very quickly, I was just going to add a little bit in here. So for those who haven't watched it, that extra additional piece, you're going to hear a few different things more around sort of the intent of the game and such. So the gameplay, yes, you've got around how dynamically different it can be. So the main guy you're playing is the guy whose eyes go grey and he's trying to save his sister. Um, he plays two different ways based on whether it's day or night. So during the day, he's more stuck being like a human around like his abilities and what he can do, and at nighttime, he's got access to his more of his vampiric skills. There is going to be magic in the game, but not the same sort of magic that you would think of in other games. But they want to add a bit more fantastical to it for that. But this is set in Eastern Europe. And it's super interesting to listen to them talk about the game, like, and some of the lore of the game, which is, and I've, is the reason why that vampire has so many teeth, is based on like how old he is. So the more teeth you have, the older the vampire you are. And you use a tooth and you jam it into the heart of a another person to turn them into a vampire. I hope I remember that correctly. I was kind of watching this while trying not to fall asleep when I watched it, but it was like very interesting around what they're doing, because there would definitely there'd be a lot of folklore and all this stuff around like vampires in Eastern Europe. Because that's based on, like, if we look at all the books and movies and everything, they're kind of set there. And so they've kind of, this is their take on vampires and what that is, and so on and so forth. And the vampires go in to look after this like valley and this community, but they see the humans more as cattle. And so there's like a blood tax in order to be kept safe. So it's kind of, think of it like protection money, and that, and your currency is your blood. And so it's just interesting
That's
around
really
like,
dope.
listening to them talk about this game. And so I feel like I'm really excited to see the gameplay, and really excited to hear more about this game in summer. Because I really enjoyed listening to them talk about the world building and all of the stuff that they've been talking about with what this game is going to be. And so I highly recommend. It's a bit of an interesting one if you're bad with accents, and the accent can be a little thick. You've got subtitles for English to watch it in. It's about an 18-minute video. And they're just talking. It's like two developers talking, and then it moves to another two developers talking from the studio, and talking about all the different things that they thought about when putting into this. And I haven't even talked about everything that they talked about, but those are some of the things that are just kind of sitting on the top of mind. So I have a lot more hype for this game because I know a little bit more around the lore and the world building and such. So it's really made me excited for what we're going to get around gameplay and how did they deliver on that. Yeah. There we go. That's
like
all,
a banger.
folks.
That's all.
Oh, who had the question in the chat, Soul, about people's favorite vampire? I feel like it was further up. Sorry,
Favorite vampire or vampire game?
vampire game. What was the? Oh, I can't.
I mean,
I was
somebody
talking too much. And I wasn't
mentioned.
reading enough.
Hold on, let me see here.
Favorite vampire. Anything of all time is that movie, The Lost Boys. So
Yeah, Lost Boys.
try hard. So I guess favorite vampire. Anything could be video game, movie, anything.
I was a big fan of True Blood growing up. My grandmother, True Blood and Game of Thrones Blu-ray DVD. She would get every season.
Anna Paquin's a
Blu-ray.
Kiwi. She's a New Zealander.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Oh, okay, all right. I might look at you New Zealanders a little different now.
We get around. No, I'm kidding.
Get around. Maybe y'all are vampires living in the middle of nowhere. That explains why y'all live over there.
The main guys, Homelander and the Butcher, are both New Zealanders.
You know,
Sorry,
Dust Till Dawn. Dust Till Dawn. That might be my favorite. That might be my favorite vampire movie. Yeah.
What did you think of the TV series that they did, which is very, I guess, it's different, but also the same essentially as the first movie? Did you watch the TV series?
No, I didn't. So
okay, well then that's all right.
No, but Dust Till Dawn. I enjoyed that.
I'm gonna go with something more. I'm gonna go with the movie Van Helsing. I don't know. I feel like I just loved that film. I loved the way the way they did Dracula and Frankenstein and even the werewolves and the story. And who doesn't love a movie with Kate Beckinsale, to be honest? But yeah, no, I loved the vampire in there. He just always was looking to like how to benefit him, make a deal, and like do whatever he needed to do to stay alive and save his own skin. And I think he did a great job of that. There's so many vampire things out there. I can't even think of half of the ones that I've seen, and I've seen so many.
I mean, Underworld itself was pretty good.
Oh yes, why did I not think of Underworld? I was literally
it wasn't until you said Kate Beckinsale, and I was like, oh, Underworld,
Underworld was so good. Kate Beckinsale and Underworld, like, to be honest.
and I think I even really got into it more when they dug deeper into the Lycan side of everything as well. So
yes, I agree with you there. I agree with you.
Yeah. Underworld. I always thought Underworld would make for a good game. I always thought it would make for a good game.
Totally would.
So I don't know. I'm surprised they really didn't get out there with that.
Shout out Blade.
Oh yeah, you already know it, Blade.
Well, I mean that Blade, man, Blade. Jeez, there's just too many guys. Why did you have to ask us these things? It's hard to decide.
Definitely a lot. I'm happy that nobody named Twilight. I'm really proud of us all. The chat, you guys.
Nobody named what?
Nobody
Twilight.
named Twilight.
Oh, Twilight. Oh, okay. I was
Yes.
like, did you say Twilight? Have I missed something? But now you said Twilight. I agree. I'm glad nobody named Twilight.
Yeah.
Um, you probably might have
Hashtag Team
thought that
Jacob.
'cause I'm a white girl, but like, no, no, that
A
is
little too pale for your liking.
it's a little too vanilla. Yeah, a
Mm.
little too vanilla. It didn't have grit, and I was like, yes, there's a romance in it and all the stuff, and I have seen all of them, but I'm like, if I want to pick a vampire movie, I'm picking all of the things that we talked about a moment ago. Underworld, like
Isn't it a 30 days,
Dusk
30
Till Dawn,
nights vampire movie, or am I tripping? I know that was the
uh,
premise of it, but I don't know if that was the name of it. But I
something
know
like
it took
that.
place in Alaska.
There's one set up in like the Arctic or something,
Yeah,
and
yep,
they
yep.
and they have like 30 days of darkness or whatever it is,
Hmm.
and that's when the vampires come into the settlement and like start going ham. Yeah.
I think this Blade game is going to be awesome whenever it comes.
Yep, I do too. And I hope they have a nice, funky art style.
I think they will.
I
If
hope so.
Deathloop and Dishonored is anything to go off of, even Redfall to that degree, even though
Ye-
it's not the same
Yeah.
Arcane, but I think they'll nail the art style. Especially, I think it's taking place in Europe and London, so I can
Yeah.
definitely see them having that cloudy, just gloomy, really dope art style of a hybrid of Dishonored and Deathloop. Deathloop art style don't get enough love,
Hmm. I
especially
think.
with the words and 3D words and stuff coming in. I think that'd be dope.
Yeah. I think the locale from that trailer for Blade, I think they were over in France. So yeah,
Yes.
Mm.
we'll see.
Oh, yeah, in France.
Well,
We'll
because
see.
it's set in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Very quickly, I just wanted to bring up something that who brought it up? Was it Jay? Jay in the chat. I feel like it was you. I'm so sorry. I've had more of my edible and more of my brain is gone. um, but basically, Breaking Avowed is rumored to be delayed, according to Grums and
Mm.
Ian Miles Chong. But today, Obsidian Entertainment said Avowed is officially 1 month out from launch, and then
Mm.
but then Colt Eastwood later said, "I wouldn't count this out just yet." So I think he's saying like I wouldn't count out Avowed delivering on time just yet, or he's saying I'm not sure about the rumor. You can read it either way you want,
I
I guess,
don't
because
think
that's
they
how we
would
do it.
be saying 1 month out if they knew it was eternally going to be delayed. I mean, if they do know it's going to be delayed and they still putting those type of tweets out to keep everybody, that's some dickhead
I
stuff.
mean, they do that, and Nero's going to come for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming for them. Like, if you, I don't have a problem with a delay again. It's just the form in which you do the delay. Don't delay it less than a month out. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna delay it, give us the burn now and just rip the band-aid off. But I don't see it
Try
getting
Try
delayed
Hard
again.
said exactly what we were probably all thinking.
Oh yeah, Grunt.
Grums can't be
Oh,
taken
Grunt.
Grums, yeah.
too
That guy.
seriously.
Yo, I didn't until he
Yeah.
spelt it out. Now I
Yeah.
get. Yo, fuck that guy, bro. Nobody takes him serious, dude. That's like taking Icon Reset Error or some whatever the name of that
Well, I zoomed in on the
journalist
tweet.
page is.
Easier, so sorry about
Oh,
before it
okay,
was
okay.
zoomed out. So I made it easier. I didn't want to change the scene, so I just was like, let's go. Yeah, Grums. I think
Well, don't they? Ain't he part of the whole anti-woke group? They got beef with the Avowed devs because the Avowed
Yeah.
developers did not back
yes.
down. I mean,
Yep.
This is
and I
his
wish
time to
more
go ahead
devs
and
would
throw
do.
more salt. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all that is.
Soul.
Thank,
What do
thank
you
you, thank you, Try Hard for pointing that out with Grums because the name just kind of flew over my head. Uh,
It was my accent, just admit it. It was the accent. It's
yeah,
okay.
a little something like that. A little something like that.
A little something like that. Soul, what are your thoughts on this rumor? I think there's some things to be said with those people on Twitter.
Oh man, look here. What was it? It's an old song and it's called Rumors. Look at all these rumors around me every day. I just need some time to get away. Look here, man. That's all it is. It's just like this. Whenever there's some positive Xbox news, people come out the woodworks to spread that FUD. And that's all it is. And like you said, Obsidian came out and they were just like, yeah, it's coming out a month from now. And that's all I saw when I was on Twitter earlier today. So this guy here, he's one of those, he's gonna spread that FUD as much as he can, like cold peanut butter, baby. You know what I mean? He gonna spread it thick too. So nah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But like Nero said, if there's a delay, cool, delay it, because we want the best product possible. And that's all that really matters, is a good product. Don't wait until the 25th hour to be like, yo, well, we got to delay it. Sorry about it, guys. No, don't do that. Let people know. And everyone will be just fine, because you know what Xbox has? Games. And so they will be just fine, even if there was a little pushback.
Do we
Right?
know if Obsidian have multiple teams within them?
Yes,
Yeah.
So they
they
do.
do. Because someone's
Okay.
working on the Outer Worlds, a different team's working
Yeah,
on the Outer
that's
Worlds.
what I was gonna ask too, because I was gonna say, if it get delayed again after announcing Outer Worlds 2 is coming, I get it, separate teams and stuff like that, but we could definitely do with all attention focused on Avowed, just since we're at the end game, polish and get that out. And then, then once their game is out, hands on deck with Outer Worlds 2 to make up for the help they landed over here and get that game out hopefully this year or next year as well. So um the first delay. So if like I said, Grums, I don't even know why the fuck you got me talking about this on our podcast right now, but because it's not going to happen. But just say it did. If it did, we got to remember the first delay wasn't because of performance or anything. The first delay was because of a quote unquote busy launch window. They had Black Ops, they had Indiana Jones, they had the Starfield DLC. They had third party games like Stalker 3, not 3, but Stalker 2. So it was a plethora of games in that window where they pushed it back. They didn't delay about the first delay because of performance or because of anything like that. This is on document. This is documented facts. It's out there. They said it got delayed because of they want to give it room to breathe, and that's the only reason I was confused. I'm like, give it room to breathe. Shit, the sheer stack too. Microsoft, it's no room for nothing to breathe. Just drop it. Game Pass is your breathing. Game Pass is always going to find its audience. When you got 30 million plus subscribers right there, it's going to find the audience.
I
So,
think Avowed is quite a smart play anyway to be releasing this time of year, because who usually releases a game this time of year?
except for Horizon, and they get shitted on every time.
I know, but no, what I mean by that is PlayStation
Mhm.
usually does, and PlayStation isn't. So
Yep.
this is
Okay.
going to sink into the air. And do you know what's different around this game launching the same time as, same time period as Horizon is? This game launches in Game Pass. Anyone on PC who's got PC Game Pass, anyone who gets day and day releases through Game Pass gets access to Avowed without the a US $70 price tag attached to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're gonna get more people who try it, give it a go, turn it on for a little bit, go back and play what else they're doing, and come back to it. That is just how gamers are. But I feel like this is a good time of year to do it, because there's a little vacuum that has semi been created. I think that PlayStation doesn't have, I feel like, a cadence of a game releasing this time frame as they usually would, coming out of the holiday period, and which is kind of good for us, I think, because we're in summer, right? And so right over the end of December, beginning of January period, I don't really want to be inside gaming too much. It's summertime,
Mm-hmm.
it's outside, but it starts to get cooler and you kind of done all the stuff you want to do outside for the summer. Leading into this game releasing, it kind of lines up pretty good as you start heading into autumn and leading into out through the rest of the year. So I feel like for the Southern Hemisphere folks,
Mm-hmm.
its release date is actually quite good, because when we go on holiday in New Zealand over the December period and January period, we're not playing games. We're out barbecuing, we're out hiking, we're out
Kayaking,
camping, going to the beach,
kayaking.
kayaking, anything. We're out exploring. The cities are dead. Everyone has gone out with their caravans, camper vans, tents, everything that they can, even the kitchen sink, basically. And we are out side. So we're not playing video games. After that break, we're back and you're back into gaming. So like having a game that comes out right after our holiday period where everything goes back to normal is actually really ideal for those who are like Southern Hemisphere, because Australia will be in the same boat, trying to experience as much of summer as they can. Yeah. Sorry to go completely off and
No,
off.
I'm
It
happy you mentioned
benefits
that
me
because
here when
it's
it releases.
extremely important, guys, to remember that. In America, our summer is Panda winter, and her winter is our summer. So I'll be having to remember, right now it might be nice and lovely outside for Panda, but for me and Soul, it is, damn it, cold.
Well,
And
what's interesting is, I feel like there's always a bit of a summer break around release cadence of video games. Yes, you get the summer showcases and things like
Mhm.
that, but you don't get big games hitting in summer because they know a lot of people in the Northern Hemisphere are gonna be enjoying as much as they can over their summer break, and then sort of the games start releasing when they come back from break. And it's not always the case with we kind of just like, I would like a game to release in the middle of the year, but it doesn't always happen that way.
We might get that with
Very
Doom.
interesting.
We might get that with Doom. Doom might be the middle of the year release.
Yeah, and I'll be like, yes. Just it's fine. But it's just interesting, like just based on everything. Sometimes release cadences work out and sometimes they don't for the Southern Hemisphere folk. Yeah.
Definitely.
RHJ fan, I must be the only one here who doesn't have a life. Hey,
Nah, me and you both.
your life is what you make it. Go out and take it. By the horns or whatever the saying is.
Definitely. Take it
All
by the
right.
balls.
You can take it by the
You
balls.
just grab life by the balls, Becca, and you twist
Yeah.
them damn balls. You can't twist no more. You go live your life.
I'm back on topic. Sorry, back on topic. I'm of two minds around this, and the reason why I'm two minds around this is, I also think like putting a post out saying your game is releasing at a month away from your own post that you're delivering that would imply it's still on track for that release. And so it doesn't give a lot of breathing room or oxygen to that rumor. It feels like one of those well-timed things where they're trying to kind of trash, like not trash, but like take away some of the momentum or hype or excitement that Xbox has, and just take the wind out of their sails by just trying to throw some bad news in there. And try and just, I feel like creating, it's just engagement farming as far as I'm concerned. It's pretty pathetic. But the other side of this, and the reason why I'm of two minds is we have seen, and I'm not saying that this is them, they have been pretty clear about when they're wanting to delay a game and things like that. But we have seen other studios here where we've been like a month out or 2 weeks out, and then they're like, really sorry, we're going to have to delay push the game. And that could be because they found a game-breaking bug, and so they can't deliver it until they fix that. That could happen, and that's why I'm always thinking you don't know what's going to happen or what could happen leading up to the launch of a game. I think it's highly unlikely that they would be saying we're a month out and then they're going to delay the game. Like, I think that's unlikely, but you don't know. So there's always that side of me that goes, I understand the intricacy and the difficulty and what it's like around how computer systems work and software works, and things like you might have the code perfectly and you tweak one thing and it impacts another thing, and it's like it's very intricate, very detail orientated, and very, very difficult in some instances around game development. So I just want to always remember that someday my computer works perfectly fine, and then the other day I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I've done nothing with it. And that's the same with playing, like, game development. Sometimes everything's working, do something, and then bam, it's like that. Like, there's been no changes to the code, but they've obviously found a new bug or something else has happened, or yeah. So I don't know. I don't think it's being delayed. I really want to stress that. That is my
Yeah,
thought.
I
That
don't
is my
either.
main thing. I don't think it's being delayed. I'd be surprised. Um, okay. Sorry, I went on for a
So
long talk. The brownies really kicked in, and I feel like that's me now.
you're good. I was gonna say I think I made a mistake. We can skip the Elder Scrolls remake. Okay, guys. So we touched on this in the quick news, and I must have doubled down because I got some more information that came out. Uh, it's pretty much what we touched on earlier
I think we
about
talked
the
about it though.
Oblivion. Yeah, we talked about it, guys. Just the improvements. So we're gonna skip that topic, and we're gonna get to something me and Panda is excited to talk about, and
What
that
do you
is
mean? I'm not
the
excited
Nintendo.
for anything. That
You're
is a
not
lie.
excited for the Switch 2?
That is absolute
I thought you
lie.
was a Nintendo.
I am a grifter. I do agree. Oh, don't do this to me, Nintendo.
Yeah, do it to her, Nintendo.
Don't. I'll just give me 1 second. Stop sharing. Fix Nintendo doing it. But yeah, continue. Continue. What were you going to
All
say?
right, so the Nintendo 2, we got the first details and we got the first reveal, the official reveal. It is backwards compatible, physical and digital, with the Switch 1. Certain games may not be compatible, like Horizon Lego, but nobody gives a damn about that game. Nobody bought it, nobody plays it, nobody was excited for it. Has a bigger screen, and it is confirmed 1080p LCD screen. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the LCD screen. Those same people did not complain about the PlayStation Portal LCD screen, um, including myself. That's why you will not hear me being a hypocrite and enjoying the Portal just to turn around and shit on the screen of the Switch. Now, I think a lot of people need to realize that pixel density is what matters the most. How dense are your pixels? How much are you utilizing the pixels in your display? You like not every OLED screen is automatically better than a LC or a QLED display, right? OLEDs has a lot of benefits, arguably a lot of benefits. If you know, you know, but it also has drawbacks. A lot of drawbacks as well. So, how could they make a Switch 2 OLED if the first Switch uh, 2 is a OLED? So they're definitely gonna make a Switch 2 OLED in probably about 2-3 years, sell another 20-30 million of those. So the Joy Cons can function as a mouse. I don't really care too much about that, even though that's a cool feature. It's two USB-C ports, which is cool. Why is it two? Hmm.
Um, I think one's for the way it'll charge down the bottom, and one might be for a different type of connection,
Oh
or
yeah, for
being
like
able to connect
okay,
more than one. They haven't finished announcing it.
okay. And the Switch 2 Direct is coming April 2nd. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say my part before I let Soul and Panda take over. I'm extremely excited for this. Like I said, I've been itching to play some platformer games, and Nintendo is the king of cooking those up consistently. I missed out on the entire Switch generation. Never touched the Switch. Never bought one. Had the opportunity plenty of times, but kept saying, "I'm gonna wait for the Switch 2. I'm gonna wait for the Switch 2." And guess what, Panda? It works. It was worth it. The wait was worth it. Um, I'm excited. It's a lot of games I plan to check out. It is going to have DLS as far as their upscaling technique with NVIDIA. So that is really good. It's really dope. It's on par with a Series S, maybe a little less than the S in some aspects. So and the price leaked for $399. That is a really, 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 really good price tag. In my opinion, that is a really good price tag. Um, $200 more than the Portal, $50 more than the 1 terabyte all black Series S, $100 less than the cheapest version of both the PS5 and the Series X. So I mean, like, I definitely think it's worth it. The backwards compatibility, the bigger screen for me is huge. I have really big hands. Um, Panda and Soul, what are you guys thinking about the Switch 2? Are you guys excited or?
I'm gonna throw to Soul. I'll be right back.
No, I'm a Nintendo guy at heart, meaning I've always had one, man. I grew up in the Nintendo era. The only console I haven't had was the Wii U. It's the only one that I have not had. I've had everything else since then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always kind of like going to have a Nintendo. And part of that is because it just really brings back those good warm fuzzies. You know what I mean? Those good childhood memories of sitting in front of that little 19 and 20 inch and those bright colors from back in the day, or staying up late at night when you're supposed to be asleep. You didn't put a towel down at the bottom of your door so the light is not going. You got the
Mm-hmm.
TV, you got the TV turned down, you're up close to the screen playing, man, you know. So Nintendo just sparks a lot of emotion and memories of just great gaming as a child and through my childhood. Uh, so I will always have one. I can't say that I was just like overwhelmed, like or wowed with the presentation, because they were just really trying to show us this is what you're going to get, right? And I know that, so I don't want to be so hard on it. So I'm not going to say it was lackluster, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, look at this thing. This is the next best thing. No, I'm glad that it's going to be a little bit bigger. I would like to really see how these magnetic uh, the attachment really works, how good it is, or is it going to be an issue where these darn things break or don't hold as well over time. I'm hoping that they do. I like how the stand was built in. It's pretty cool. I think one of the coolest things that I saw just from the little trailer, the presentation, was just how we might be able to use these things as a mouse, which just really sparks my interest. Of, is this just another Nintendo gimmick that may come and go, or are we going to possibly see some PC integration in there somewhere? So I don't know. I'm a little interested about that and what they're going to do with it. I thought that was pretty cool. But Nintendo usually comes with something that makes buying their console or the handheld now worthwhile. And I'm such a Nintendo fan. Yes, I was one of the probably 10 people who bought the cardboard stuff.
Labo.
Games level. Yeah, I got it. We made a couple things and it was actually pretty cool. I'm not
What?
gonna lie.
How does that work? I never understood that. Sorry, sidetrack. As per
Excuse
usual.
me. Hell, I couldn't figure out how it worked, but I liked it. We did like the little car tank thing, and it was something else my daughter and I built. And then after, this was when she was younger too. So whenever it dropped is when I bought it. So it was probably, didn't that drop like right around COVID? Or right 20, was it 2019 or was it 2020? Like I think it was 2020.
Yeah,
I think it was 2020, right?
I don't know if it was 2020, but I know it dropped right around that time when everyone was like,
Okay,
"What?"
well, I know we were in this house, and I know that she was probably like 4, maybe
Okay.
5, and I know the interest for her to have to try to push out that cardboard stuff and work with it. She was like, you can do it." And so after a while, I was like, I ain't doing it. And so it's upstairs, like almost brand new, you know. But I thought I liked the idea of it. They're always trying to push the envelope with stuff, and clearly it didn't take off right. But I love Nintendo. I love what they bring. I usually buy Nintendo for 2 titles and 2 titles only.
Nintendo and
Met
Mario. I mean Nintendo and Mario and Zelda, right?
Zelda and Metroid.
Oh, Metroid. Why did I say Mario? I know you
That's
like
it.
Metroid.
Now, oh no! Don't get me wrong. I play the Metroid game. I mean, the Mario games,
Mario games,
but
but
I buy the console for Zelda, excuse me, and Metroid. So I'm happy to see that Metroid will have a release for this thing, and we know that they're going to have some kind of iteration of Zelda. Without doubt. So it's going to be there. But I'm interested to see what third party is going to be there as well. You know, Nintendo is
Call
You
of
know,
usually
Call of Duty.
Duty.
Yeah,
yeah.
Call of Duty, Halo. They'll definitely be there.
Well, you know, and I'm thinking like for me, that would make that's a console I'm calling it console. That's console, handheld, hybrid, whatever you want to call it, that I will buy. I would buy anyway, outside of Call of Duty. But it's those other games that would make me just go ahead and get it. But I just want to see what they're going to have. What else is going to hit that console? And what I really wish, this is one thing that all of these games would allow for you to do, is play wherever you are. That's why I do like the whole thing that Xbox is trying to do, because just like Hollow Knight, right?
Oh, that hates me today.
I
Perfect.
started Hollow Knight and I put all the time in on the Switch. I don't want to redo it. Hollow Knight was hard enough. I don't want to redo it on the Xbox. But I
Don't
wish
redo
I
it
could
on
just
Xbox.
I wish I could just somehow, download it on Xbox and then everything transferred. So I wish that, for the games that are going to be third party and kind of going to be here, there, and everywhere else, I wish there was a way that they could make it so that you could play regardless. But
So I think Play
you know,
Anywhere titles are fantastic, and
they are
more companies
fantastic.
should
That's
do it. And I know they want to make more money, but I'm like, the fact that I don't want to start from scratch again, like, if they could figure out a way just to have it so you'll save, like, if you picked up another copy on another game and just had your save go across, that would be fine. Like, that's what you want, as long as your save works on a different platform and you can continue on. Then you can do it that way. But it's like, that's so frustrating.
If I'm Microsoft, I team up with Nintendo and get them in on the this is Xbox shit. Like if I'm Xbox, I'm more. First of
They
all,
are. They're
I'm
getting
gonna be
COD. They're
honest.
part of it
Yeah,
automatically.
they really are. But see, my thing is, if I'm Xbox, I'm excited as fuck to port games to Nintendo. And if I was them, I would have always ported my games to Nintendo over PlayStation. And I say that because the attachment and buy rate on Nintendo is leagues ahead of PlayStation. So you shouldn't automatically expect sales when you release over to PlayStation. And if you do, it's going to be people buying your games on sale. Nintendo, on the other hand, yo, all right, that's the
Yeah.
Xbox.
So no. Those are great points, man. I mean, so cross saves would be like J Duke. Yeah, would be a huge. I mean, oh
Huge.
my god, it would make life so much easier. Same thing with Hades. I was playing Hades on the Switch. I never did download it for on Xbox. And so that being said, because I'm just one of those, I don't want to start over. I don't have time for that. you know. And so we'll see. I am excited about it though. I mean, it's Nintendo. Just some people just don't do Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I absolutely love Nintendo. So we're gonna see. And then do we get a new Animal Crossing? How about that? How about that? Give us a new Animal Crossing. For those who play, you understand. Animal Crossing is a great game.
I need some type of achievements or Nintendo trophies or some fucking thing from Nintendo, man. Like I need to be rewarded for beating Mario. I need something to acknowledge that I just beat Mario, other than the credits, to pat me on the back. If they somehow, because I mean, my thing with the Switch and the Switch 2, right, is the software. How is they changing the software from 1 to 2? What changes can you bring from the Switch, I mean, to the Switch 2 that's not there in the Switch 1, besides the
Um,
power, the bigger screen? What are we going to be seeing on that screen? A new improved UI, a new improved,
it
you
might
know?
be similar. Like, some they're saying some games are going to come from one way, and some games you will be able to play from the Switch One, and some you won't. The ones that you won't, which we don't know any more details about, could be similar to why Xbox couldn't do some of their things with the backwards compatibility. Could be why, who knows? But some games they were like the devs locked it to this, so we couldn't do this magic and make it deliver 60 because the way the devs locked the animations to 30 FPS, so it doesn't work when you go to 60. It could be maybe that's why there's something in the background with the way those games were made that they won't be able to deliver everything. I'm sorry if I completely sidetracked everything.
Nah, you good. I'm just watching the chat and shout out everyone. I love how you guys be interacting and conversations among conversations. I absolutely love that. But um, I seen Becca had agreed with me because I seen some, some pony guys. I've been trying to separate my timeline from that. Shout out to Blue Sky because it's so much more peaceful over there. But I've been trying to, separate that shit from both sides of my timeline because this is a lot of disingenuous shit from everyone, right? But I seen a lot of PlayStation guys posting the Switch too, like this is an Xbox laughing emoji, and I'm thinking to myself like,
Bro.
well, that technically it is, and technically that may be the best option to play Xbox games if you want to play on the go. If you want to go on vacation and you want to play something locally on a handheld without relying on cloud and shit until we get our dedicated handheld, I'm okay with looking at the Switch 2 as Xbox hybrid.
What? Why? But why do they think? And this is so frustrating. Those people who are making those comments, do they think that they're getting a better deal being locked into only playing their games on a PlayStation? Like, yes, they're now coming to PC, and well, that's a different conversation. But like, the fact that if I wanted, and that's probably going to be the case with some of these things, is maybe they've got a deal when, like, if you pick up COD on this device or on PC or on Xbox, you will get the same COD experience around all your items being everywhere, or whatever it is, no matter where you go. And maybe that's out to those who, if they do want to try it and they don't want to play COD on mobile, they're happy to play it on a handheld instead, for those who already have a Switch or are always going to get a Switch, and then maybe they want to try it that way, and they don't want a Steam Deck or they don't want anything else, because they still get the exclusive access to what Nintendo does, because they don't put their games anywhere else. So they're like, you have to, if you want to play that game, or a Nintendo game, you have to go get that. And why not give those people who choose to go and get that platform a benefit of putting an Xbox game on there? Is, yes, you love COD, you can play this here, and all your stuff that you've got unlocked on COD goes with you, and you get the same experience but in a handheld form, while also enjoying your Nintendo exclusives. Like, there's so many good
I'm
things
sorry.
about it, and for them to be like, haha, this is funny, like, grow the fuck up.
I think Microsoft should do what PlayStation did with PC that backfired on them, but take that and do it smarter. PlayStation make you sign into a PSN for their games on PC. No, Microsoft make Nintendo and PlayStation people sign into Xbox accounts
Uh,
only if they want cross saves. You should be, hey, you want to continue playing this on Xbox and keep your saves? Sign in now. Count that shit as an
becomes a
active
Play
fucking
Anywhere
user.
title at that
Boom,
point.
becomes a play any exactly. So I think that save anywhere shit should somehow, if they can bring save cross saves to other platforms, like if I can, let's say let's say the
Well, I think
next all right, go ahead.
I was going to say, I
Hmm.
think that if you play Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch, you have to log into an Xbox account from memory.
I didn't know that.
I think that's how they've got it. I think it was to just because maybe the way their online servers work or whatever it is, or anything like that. But at one point they did have to. I don't know if it's still the case today, but at one point they did have to do it.
If I'm Xbox, I'm definitely teaming up with Nintendo. Not and that's the thing, like with Nintendo, it's like, yo, we have our games, but we don't need your games. Nintendo got really good games. Would we love to see some of their games on Xbox? Yes. Do we need their games? Absolutely not. Xbox arguably don't need anybody games. But the reason I'm more pro them being pro putting shit on Nintendo is because at the end of the day, Nintendo isn't actively trying to keep games off of Xbox. So that should, at the end of the day, that should carry some weight and being more willing to team up with Nintendo. If I'm Xbox, I wouldn't even look at Nintendo as competition. I would look at that shit as an opportunity, which I think they have. And that's hence to why games is going everywhere. I think they look at PlayStation as an opportunity as well, and Nintendo as an opportunity to say, hey, man, let's continue to sell these games where they don't sell. I'm sorry, but people make fun of Xbox saying we don't buy games. Well, sorry that all of our games is in a fucking subscription. Are we supposed to buy these same games for $70 that we're spending for our subscription, the $20 a month there? It absolutely makes zero sense. So if you're not incentivizing your own fan base to buy our games, which they haven't done since the inception of Game Pass, right? Hey, everybody else have at it. buy it. But I think it's more easy to see Nintendo getting something like a Halo or Gears of War for most Xbox fans than it is PlayStation getting Halo and Gears. And if any Xbox fan disagree with me, I would ask them why. What is Nintendo doing to see Xbox in a worse place? What has they done? They haven't done anything but
Well,
mind their
they've had
damn business and put
good
out their little niche
relationship,
games. Yeah,
right?
exactly. As far as I know, I believe so.
Yeah, there's been a lot of positive stuff
Yeah.
between these two in the past. I mean, hell, I know it was part of getting that deal through, but like they went to Nintendo and said, "Hey, you want COD on your console? Here we go."
And
That's the
Camino
most recent
Johnson.
example, but prior to
Yeah.
that, there was a lot of things that they were have semi been kind of doing, and part of that might be to do with the way some IPs are tangled up. But yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
this is an Xbox, so I mean, hey, let them laugh, guys. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if I got a Switch 2 and I want to play an Xbox game or something, if I see Hellblade 2 on sale on the Switch 2, I will pick that shit up, play
yeah.
through it again on the go or at doctor appointments or something like that. I mean, I just think it's cool, and like I said, Nintendo got really cool games, but is there any games on the Nintendo platform that I say, damn, I want to play that on Xbox? I mean, granted, all of their games, just because we know they're gonna look and run better, you know what I'm saying? Like you finally can get a Zelda running above 720p, less than 30 frames and shit if it was to come to Xbox. But as far as me saying, damn, I wish that was on Xbox, nah,
Do
I
you
would just
know?
buy a Nintendo Switch.
Do you know what I
But
wish? And which is what I hope they do with the handheld. Is I hope they do something similar to the Switch around detachable. You have no idea, like if you've never played the Nintendo Switch for like long period of time, you're playing on the handheld or you've got the thing docked um, in that little thing for the whatever they are for the Joy Cons to go into. I think it's called. They nicknamed it the dog or something because it looks kind of like a dog. Um, or you've got the Pro controller. Do you know how nice it is to not have to force your hands together holding a controller in your hands? And when you've got the freedom of having a Joy-Con in one hand and a Joy-Con in the other, and you've still got, it's like you're still playing if you were doing that way, but like you could be resting on, and like have your arms in any which way you want, comfy as hell. I don't know, there's just something natural to be able to put your arms where you want and not have to keep them in a very specific position for long periods of gaming time. Um, and that's what I really loved about the detachable Joy Cons on the Nintendo Switch. I also love some of the features that came with that, which was basically shooting arrows on Breath of the Wild and
Yeah.
using the action. I love doing that, but like just the fact that I would sometimes be just sitting down on the couch and just be sitting down with one arm on one side of one arm there, and still playing Breath of the Wild as if I had was on a standard controller.
Controller. Yeah.
And that's what I think is such a great part of the detachable handheld and such an important part of making, I guess, making it so that the gamer plays how they want to play in that regard. I can't think of how I want to say it, but something that's what I do love, and I really hope that Microsoft does something similar with the handheld. I don't know, it's just so much more comfortable. If you've ever had the freedom to do it, highly recommend. Unplug and just sit down the way you want to sit with
I'm gonna have to try that.
with a controller. It's
That,
such a
that
good
definitely
way.
sounds like a vibe.
Oh no,
Yeah,
it is, man. When you got them detached, and then you're just kind of
doing
over
what you
here,
want to
and
do.
you're doing what you want to do. You got two hands. I mean, you still have it in your hands, right?
Mhm.
But the fact that you don't have to have it in that set position. Now,
Yes.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I find myself, still kind of sitting like this at times, right? But the
Yeah.
fact that you're like, oh shit, man, you over here and you got your thumb, and I mean, it's pretty damn cool that they thought enough to do that, where you don't have to have those things um connected, or you have to sit there in a standard position like you are holding that controller. But I will say this though, one of the best things they did, not necessarily with the Joy Cons. No, one of the best things that they did was actually have that Pro controller, and it has the offset buttons just like the Xbox controller. Because when I tell you that thing feels great, it feels great. And if they've improved their next Pro controller, whatever they're going to call it, If they've improved it and it's anything like what we have right now for Xbox, I mean, if it stays true, it's going to be awesome. Go
I
ahead, Patty.
think that first iteration of that Pro controller, they did a fantastic job, and I think they definitely need to deliver on a second version.
They got
Um,
to.
they have to, and the reason why I say this is, as well as they delivered on that, and it was like the offset joysticks and all of that, and it was a very comfortable controller. I found that there were times where I couldn't game as long as I wanted to because my hands would start to hurt with just the way it was sitting. I don't know why. I was like, and maybe it's because I'm so used to one of these, but I don't know what it
Right.
was. It was maybe it's the way that this is shaped differently or anything like that. But I think there is more to go with the comfort for really extended, long periods of gameplay on that particular controller. So I always found myself going back to the Joy Cons. And putting them in the dog thing or just separate rather than using the Pro controller. Because I was fine. I could play a couple of hours, and then after that, I was just like, this is really uncomfortable now. Maybe it's the way the triggers went. I haven't used my Pro controller in such a long time because of that. Comfort is important, right? So, yeah, I definitely think that needs an upgrade. I think they did a fantastic job with it, though, when they did deliver it. I low-key want them to deliver another Nintendo 64 controller, but like with all the modern day improvements, like an actual nice and comfy joystick. I think the way that held, the one in there, one there, I don't know, there was just something very comfortable, and you could still add another, I don't know. There was only one joystick on that, so who knows.
Right,
But
right.
it was just very comfortable to use. Lol.
Wake up, Nero.
I'm going off track. I'm excited for the Switch too. I'm sorry we're talking about the Switch for so long.
I
As
think
Nero,
Mark, you made a really good point. My bad. No, that was me knocking my mic over, not paying attention. But Fark, you said I've enjoyed a bunch of Nintendo games and just couldn't get on with the hardware performance. For the most part, I had better results for emulation. And see,
I think you're right.
A lot of Nintendo games, and that's what I mean. Like throughout the entire Switch generation, those games have been calling out to me. I won't sit here and pretend like it's not 5, 6, 7, even 10 Nintendo Switch games from this gen that I've been wanting to play. But like Fark, you said, I mean, I just can't get down with 640p, 18 frames per second. I just like those type of performance in some of those games, especially the bigger, more ambitious Switch first party games. Like that's not ideal, man. That's not. And like I said, it's cool. You're on the handheld, you're on the screen, so some people that just make do with it. But sorry, not sorry. I'm spoiled. This Series X, S, P5, all these modern consoles have spoiled me with good, solid performance and visuals. So I think I did the right thing waiting for the Switch 2. With DLS, they're going to be able to render things at 300p internally, and upscale it to 1080, and then DLS always improve over time anyway. So the Switch 2 is going to continuously get better and improve it. So
I would say, like, when you think about that, they went with NVIDIA for the chipset on the Switch itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'd just come off the generation from the Wii U. So I don't know what it was, but I just feel like the Switch's power was not as much as it could have been, knowing what NVIDIA could deliver. And so the chipset they went with. So maybe it was a pre-built. I'm trying to remember. It was a pre-built chipset that had some modifications into it. They didn't work on it with NVIDIA to deliver exactly what they wanted to deliver, like the way that PlayStation and Xbox does with AMD. So I feel like maybe they've done that with this chipset that's going into the Switch 2. And they're getting a better deal because no one expected the Nintendo Switch to deliver what it delivered around sales figures, attachment rate of software, things like that. People were pretty down and out around how the Wii U went as a generation. I think there were a lot of people who liked the idea and concept behind what the Switch could do, but it just sold like gangbusters. The smartest thing they did was go, let's stop dividing our teams. So we've got one team who's focusing on software, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. One team that's focusing on software for the 3DS or the handheld, and one team that's focusing on software and games for the console itself. You're dividing your money, and then they just put them together. And so teams got to work on the same hardware and deliver the same games and all of that. And it just made a lot more sense bringing it together. So smartest thing they did. People saw it. It sold like gangbusters. So I think we're going to get a better CPU and GPU and just a bit of chipset in the Switch 2 over what was offered by NVIDIA and what Nintendo no doubt took and agreed to take in relation to NVIDIA.
Fuck you. I love
Yeah.
how you word this. He said, hopefully with the Switch 2 things will change and I'll invest in Nintendo again. Right? This stands out for me because keyword is invest. And I think that's what a lot of us real gamers do. And I'm going to highlight myself for this, right? I don't buy an Xbox. I'm invested in Xbox. I'm invested in the ecosystem. I'm deeply invested in Xbox. I don't buy a PlayStation. I'm invested in Xbox. PlayStation. I'm deeply invested in PlayStation as well. A huge library. I want to be invested in Nintendo with Switch 2. And that's my thing. When it comes to the big three of the consoles companies, I have no problem investing in what you're selling me, but you have to give me something to invest in. And the Nintendo Switch, just in my opinion, wasn't worth the investment for the performance and quality of the games as far as the performance and visuals, right? Now the games themselves is dope ass games, bro. I can't deny that, yo. Nintendo does what they do, and they do what they do like really well. They stick to their lane, and I really respect that, man. So I like that verbiage you use for RQ invest. I like that word because you really invest a lot of your time, money, and effort into these consoles when you go full fledged. So I'm excited for the Switch 2, guys. I'm super excited. First game I probably a pick up. Man, I don't even know. I wouldn't even be able to call it, man. But the fact that it's physical backwards compatibility as well is really dope. So man, they seem like they listening because Nintendo consoles is notoriously not what that backwards compatibility shit. Every new generation is literally a new generation to them. So
New
the fact
generation,
that
right?
this is continuing from the prior, they got them something really dope with the Switch. I think eventually the Switch 1 lifetime sales could probably surpass PlayStation 2. PlayStation keep trying to update it because they're shaking in their boots. But yeah, man, I see the Nintendo Switch. What I really hope is not out of stock for a year or two into its life.
You know it's
I
going to
really
be.
don't want to deal with that and the scalpers. I don't want to deal with
You
that.
know it's going to be. They're going to have a killer IP. They're going to put
Yeah.
something out that everyone's going
Mm-hmm.
to want. I do think. I wonder if they're going to do a Switch 1 version and a Switch 2 version to just help with the transition over. I assume they would.
Mm.
But really, maybe I hope they really show the difference between why upgrading is a good reason over just getting the version on the Switch 1.
Right.
I'm
I
just
think
going to.
that'd be smart for them to continue to make games cross-gen because what better way to swell the Switch 2 is to compare, like you just said, seeing
Yeah.
how big of an improvement this DLS upscale new Mario game looks compared to the native Switch 1 version of the very same game.
Hard thing
Digital
is,
Foundry is going to have a field day, so the Switch 2 is probably going to... Switch 2 might be the first console that just sells itself. Like, don't even need and just sells itself. Like, just seeing the difference between the games and stuff, man, because... I'm sorry. Go ahead, Panda.
no, I was just going to go let you finish. I was
Oh
just
no,
going to.
that's was just my take. I think just the difference in how these
Going to move
games
us
will look
along on
and
the
stuff.
topics because it's another long show.
It
Sorry,
has
Paul.
been.
I
I
feel
was
like
just
I'm
snatching at
I'm
the
a bit
time.
stoned, so you know how we talk. Last week, honestly, how long did we go? Like 3.5 hours. I can't believe that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I just want to quickly add, um, for the showing, for the reveal, for that trailer, to deliver it this week, and then announce that in 3 months' time we're going to show you the full details of this. No. Just no. That is a long time for us to wait. And it was so minor what they showed. Like when Xbox showed in 2019 at the Game Awards, so it wasn't their own showcase, it was a little teaser. They showed the hardware as a teaser of what it looked like. And then they showed a game of what they were intending to deliver with Hellblade 2, announced a game and did this. Like, you can do the reveal of what it looks like and all of that, but give a game and go to kind of intrigue people enough to go, I want to show up for the April showcase. I mean, April reveal and all of the details and all the intricacies and stuff. Like, that's what you would do. It. Build hype for what the possibilities that the Switch 2 could deliver on that you're probably not going to get from the Switch 1.
And I think the Switch
so,
One being so underpowered since day one is really going to help them out in the long run. I feel like they don't have to do that. I feel like we want them to do that, Panda. Like we really want them to do what you just said. But I think Nintendo is what people make it seem like Sony is, right? Like Nintendo can get away without really. I mean, Sony kind of can too
Oh,
to a certain degree, but I just think it's to a lesser degree. But
okay,
Nintendo can
so
say, "Hey, look at
I
this
agree
new
with you. I
hardware,"
agree with you.
and walk away.
Yeah, I agree with Nintendo is what people make
it's so recognizable,
Sony
the brand, right?
to be. Yes, it is the recognizable brand. It really is. So I agree 1,000% with what you were just saying. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just like, yeah,
Oh
that
no,
makes a
you all
lot of
good.
good sense. A lot of
Yeah,
good sense. Yeah,
because
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
is. Because think about it, Panda and Soul. If they don't show anything for the Switch, no game, no nothing, and they
That
just leave it at that,
Yeah.
it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell like hotcakes and stuff like
hot
that.
cakes.
And the reason I say PlayStation can do it to a certain degree is because the PlayStation 5 Pro kind of did it just to a lesser degree. Like I mean, for one, them motherfuckers didn't do a tech seminar until a month after. Like my PlayStation is sitting in front of me being played while Mark Cerny is just now releasing a Pro deep dive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the reason that's why I said they can get away with it to a certain degree. But Nintendo could definitely get away with it. And like I said, Nintendo Switch one being that first one being so weak and being so underpowered, this one right here is gonna just blow it out of the water. You know, they don't really even have to do much. All they have to do is, like Panda said, announce a new game and let Digital Foundry do the rest when the game release. And they'll do the rest. They'll market it for you.
Yeah.
They'll zoom in and show all the benefits of DLS and how Mario Odyssey is being ran at improved frames and how to. My whole thing is if the dock mode can look respectable, because like I said, the Switch, I'm not like third party games. Come on, man, I'm buying that shit on either PlayStation or Xbox. But if your first party games can look relatively good on a 4K 50 plus inch screen and the dock mode, then yo, come on, man, that's all I could ask for.
Right.
That's all I can ask for. And with your first party games, that should be more than feasible. That feasible. It should be more than doable. You know what I'm saying? Like now, when you get to the third party stuff, the CODs and the rumored games from Xbox and stuff, all right, that's different. But first party games, I expect those to look really good in the handheld and the dock mode. So I'm excited, man. I'm in there, and like I said, that price is really what got me. $399. That is a really really good price, man. And in a market where you got Steam decks and stuff causing upwards of $600 and $700, and Rogue Alleys and stuff causing $600 and $500, and that's not me saying that those are not worth it. Hell no. I mean those are. I think the Steam Deck is worth what's being asked for it, right? But in the world of $700 pros, PS5 pros, and just $600 2 terabyte X's and shit like that, a $399 Nintendo Switch coming out, Switch 2 at that. Let me keep going back to 2, but $399 for the Switch 2, I think that's a very respectable price. Asking
I think that's
price.
a respectable price. Yeah. I forget. Yeah. I've just done something and I've come back and you're talking about the price and I'm like, okay.
Perfect
All
timing.
right. Perfect timing. Okay. All right. I don't want it to be like a crazy long show. So I thought we could jump over to our next topic. And I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Is this the gloom and doom section for Sony?
Oh, no. This is the kind of funny one with Yoshida.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, yes. All right. Sharing the right screen.
Let me bring that on
Um,
because he
I
said
don't
a
know.
lot in there.
Yeah, I don't know if everyone watched this. And you probably have been heard a lot of people talking about it on different stuff, on different podcasts and things like that. Or what you maybe watched the interview or read the articles about it and watched the stupid takes on Twitter. um, but yeah, I'm gonna throw to Soul because he had quite a bit that he sort of has listened to, talked about, wanted to kind of go into about this. But if you're not aware, Yoshida has left PlayStation and he was on Kind of Funny doing an interview, and they asked Greg Miller asked him about a whole heap of different things to do with PlayStation, like the PSVR 2, and asked about if he had any issues with any people in the past and things like that. There was lots. It was a really long show, but there was lots of things that came out of that. I'm going to throw to Soul. What is your take on some of the things that were talked about?
Well, let me see here. Hold on. Get my shades together. Let me get my little cup. Get my voice together. Alms for the poor. Alms for the poor. Anyone? Anyone? Remakes for the poor. Please buy our games. I know it's a remake. I know it's a remaster. You've played them 2, 3, 4 times, but we're broke sons of bitches around here. And we need your money on our old ass games to fund new games. Alms for the poor. Alms for the poor.
What were
What
you? Yeah,
in
it's
the
totally gone over my
hell?
head. What was that
What
about?
in the what in the hell? I mean, look, my man said, look here. Mm, we don't have no money. And we need y'all to help us out with this GoFundMe right quick. It's called Remakes and Remasters. So please, if you give a damn, if you care about us, we greatly appreciate. Let me look into the camera. We greatly appreciate it if you would donate to this cause called our Remakes and Remasters. Because without your $5.99, we won't be able to feed our starving. Look at this stable right over here. Look at all those starving ponies. They deserve to be fed.
They're eating some Xbox feed at the moment, right?
I mean, so Yoshi, he's out here, wild now. He's like, look, hey man, I'm out. I'm spilling the beans. I mean, my man spilled all the tea. All of the tea. He said, look here. They put me in the basement. I ain't got to answer to nobody for 5 years. I've been living good. This retirement thing is all right. But if you notice, he also said, but if somebody needs me, call me if you need me. And he didn't make it specific about Sony either. He said, call me if you need me. I have a lot to give. I have a lot that's left in the tank, baby. Okay. But the remakes and remasters, I thought that was really, really telling about the state of PlayStation and where they are. They might be in more dire straits than what we are thinking. Now, they're not about to go out of business. We know that. But as Kings, he likes to say, we're going to keep the boot on Kong's neck. No PS6, no PlayStation 6. The more you hear that, the more you say to yourself, man, could that be a reality? Yeah. I mean, if it's coming in a year or two, I don't know, man, Um, but he said something, and I have my notes somewhere, and I don't know where it is, guys. The medicine that I'm on, it is kicking in. I have been over here almost like the Walking Dead here the last 20, 30 minutes. So y'all got to excuse me. I'm trying to perk back up. So thank you, Panda, for switching topics and getting in here because this medicine, that that syrup is something else, right? So outside of the remakes and remasters, my man also didn't even want to talk about. He didn't even want to talk about the PSVR. He's like, please, let's go away from this because it ended up being a dud. It made no money for him. Did the Portal even make money for them as well? Is that something that they're going to bring back or expand upon? Um, you know, um, Sony's in the so Sony's in a way. Somebody just said that somebody with FARQ. Somebody just said that Sony is dead. They're not dead, but they sure are floundering. They're looking like a fish out of water, and this is like some unknown territory for Sony. Sony is usually on top of their A game, or at least it always appears that they're on top of their A game because of the money having and everyone kind of going over to them to have
You
their
see,
games kind of being featured over there. But they're like a fish out of water right now, and they're just how if anybody's ever played basketball, right? And if you know a shooter has to keep shooting because once a shooter stops shooting, then they're definitely out of rhythm. They're out of rhythm right now, and so they're going to keep shooting. They're shooting at everything. They're canceling all these games. They're shutting down studios. They're trying to find the next biggest thing as far as a gas game. And that's where they're really shooting. Put a lot of time and effort into that. And so right now they're just waiting for that one bucket to hit so they can get back into rhythm like a shooter normally does. Right. And so, I mean, as a gamer, definitely want to see Sony get back into their rhythm because that's what we're here for. It's for the games. And many of us play on PC, console, all consoles. We just spent 20 minutes talking about playing on Nintendo. And will play on PlayStation or do play on PlayStation as well. So hopefully as a gamer, you want PlayStation to find what they've seemed like they've lost, seemed like they lost their way. And I don't know if it's just the business side of it or if they've lost their flair, their knack for putting out these creative games. But I hope they get it back. But I don't think it's going to work through remakes and remasters because they're not choosing the right ones. They're choosing ones that are 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years old. They're not choosing the ones that are 15 to 20 years old. And that's what SOCOM, Sly Cooper, Jack and Dexter. We talked about those except for SOCOM. Why not remake those? I mean,
yeah.
let's get to it. So I'm sorry to kind of ramble a little bit, but
Keep going.
Sony,
We love it, Soul.
they've lost their way. They need to get back on track. I hope that they do get back on track. Damn it. Look, where is factions? But
Where is
where's
factions?
factions? But seriously, out of all that stuff that they have now reported to have canceled, Twisted Metal probably was at my
Yep.
top of the list because I'm going way back into those fuzzy warm memories. The Spider-Man game probably would have been dope, but we'll never know. That Spider-Man with all the different characters like from the Spider-Verse or whatnot probably could have been dope. We'll never know. So I don't know. They need to get it together because right now Fair Games not shaping up to be much of anything. Marathon, that's multiplat. That's great. So it has a shot. PC is probably gonna save it. It being a Xbox, we like our shooters. We like a good community game.
Mm.
But outside of that, I don't know what they're doing. And I strongly believe that Wolverine, Disney is going to MLB that some bitch. It's I if they don't, I'd be surprised. If
After the
Disney
fact,
does not MLB Wolverine, I would be surprised.
after the fact that Helldivers 2 sold more copies
Spider-Man,
than Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
yeah, which he was very surprised about.
Yeah.
You know,
Insane. Yeah.
is insane. Who would think that game would outsell the most recognizable superhero in the world?
That's why you go PC. That's why you go PC.
And after two successful Spider-Man games, because
Yeah.
Miles Morales was successful,
Successful.
and
Yep.
so was the original Spider-Man.
Well, I think Miles Morales should have just been DLC and not delivered this as a standalone game. And
Hmm.
they should have put a little bit of extra time in between Spider-Man 1 with the DLC and Spider-Man 2 and build up that high, like, because we get IP fatigue, especially if you're on the same map It's still New York. It's still the same map. So there's a bit of
Yeah.
there'll be a bit of fatigue there. Like I would just be going like the story has to be fantastic for me to want to go and do all of New York again or whatever it looks like. And so Spider-Man 2 needed something that really delivered on a why would you go back to Spider-Man? And Venom, the fact that 90% of the voice actors' lines for Venom didn't make it into the game.
Mm.
And that was a big highlight for people was the Venom aspect. If you'd nailed Venom, I feel like this game would have had a lot more of a snowball effect around people actually enjoying it, and then it just made the story so fantastic and pulled back a little bit on the Mary Jane stuff because I definitely understand why people had so much hate for those particular missions when you had such a lackluster experience with Venom. Like you should have had more Venom and then less Mary Jane because the draw card is not Mary Jane in this situation for a sequel when you're advertising Venom. Venom's your draw
Right.
card.
Right. Right.
And that might have changed Spider-Man 2's success. I mean, it's still a success, but it might have made it more successful. So Helldivers 2, different IP. You've got all the people a lot of people on PC who are older, who grew up watching the Starship Trooper movies, and so you knew what you were getting into and what sort of the hecticness and the goriness of what that sort of world would be. And PC was just going to take off. Add mods into a situation if you're modding things, sorted. Yeah, so many things could have been done better around a better care around some of their IP and understanding the consumer base a little bit better. I don't know. But by that point, Yoshida was looking after the indies, right? He wasn't even looking after
Yeah,
the
he
main
was looking
content.
after the indies.
Herman Holst took his stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what Herman Holtz has been doing? He's just really been pushing Horizon. That's been his big push outside of Concord. And well, we know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary Jane
So,
too.
For them to be
Sanchez, I love
pushing,
it.
for them to be pushing Horizon as hard as they have, just for on this podcast to come out and for him to say that Horizon 2 sales was less than the first game and it caught them off guard. Look, I get it. He loved Horizon. Herman Host loved Horizon. Jim Ryan probably loved Horizon. Mark Cerny loved Horizon. That's cool. Just because everybody that worked for PlayStation loved Horizon, obviously the rest of the world does not. The sale numbers reflect that. Stop putting all your eggs into a few of your franchises. We've been saying it all generation. We've been saying it all podcasts. It seems like, listen, instead of making a Lego game, go make a new Sly game. It's not rocket science. It's just like you doubling and tripling down on just such idiotic moves, and even we might as well combine these convos these topics because it's all the same. But 8 of your 12 live service games being canceled, like that's and I was talking to my homie Reese about this, man, and it's like the only way this news don't make me too nervous as if I was just a diehard only PlayStation gamer is knowing that the person who made these dumbass decisions is not here no more. And that's Jim Ryan, and that's the one lady that left. We can only assume. But if somehow the person that's been making these dumbass decisions and green lighting these dumb moves is still at PlayStation, hey man, hey, you should be nervous. You should be worried. But I will say this is good. I think a good slice of humble pie is good for every company to get hit with, whether it's
Yeah.
Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. I feel like it's really needed. I think even Microsoft is gotten hit with it a little bit. I think they thought that Activision,
TV.
yeah, the TV, even recently, I think Activision has done wonders for them. But in the back of my mind, do I think Satya and Phil Spencer thought maybe it would do a little more. Yeah, maybe Black Ops and Game Pass didn't have the huge impact that they initially thought it was going to be. And guess what? To me, hey, that's good. That just shows you can't put all your eggs in thinking Call of Duty is going to carry everything. Nope. Continue to be creative. Continue to be fresh. Continue to try new things. Don't get comfortable. And I think
Once that
Microsoft is going to continue to try different things. As
yeah.
far as Sony, um, when you have as many live service success stories as Microsoft, you have the flexibility to sit around and try different things, to take these risks. Because in the back end, Halo is gonna Halo, Overwatch is gonna Overwatch, and Call of Duty is gonna Call of Duty. They're gonna be bringing in consistent passive income, right? Now, PlayStation, on the other hand, you guys don't have that. The fact that you had one of my favorite studios from you guys, Ben Studios, working on a live service game when Days Gone 2 and even 1 is sitting right there, just neglected, untouched. It's absolutely ridiculous. You got Blue Point trying to make a live service God of War game. When we just mentioned, you have all these Sly Coopers, you have all these Jackson Dactors, all these dormant IPs just sitting there collecting dust, but you choose to try to double down on games that, I'm only speaking for myself, is kind of mid to begin with. I've been playing God of War Ragnarok. It's cool. I'm at the part where I just got to play Atreus for the first time. It's cool, but it's not like these games is not like generational games that people make them seem. And it's starting to backfire, because if you believe the media, Sony is doing so good. All of their games is 10 out of 10, 90 Metacritic, 80 Metacritic, game of the years. But when these sales come out, the games, the attachment rates is not really giving what it should. Um, Not selling that well. The only thing you can talk about is fucking console sale charts, which don't mean shit if the software isn't moving on those hardware units that you guys is bragging about. It's just like, come on, man, you got to get it together, Sony. You got to get it together. And then not only this, I hope that the money they save from canceling all these games, you're losing money anyway from canceling some shit you started. But it's better than releasing a game like Concord and then the shit just ceasing to exist overnight, right? So I hope they take this as a lesson, maybe double down in what is successful, right? And that goes for all of them, all of the big three, especially if you're trying to do some, even Ubisoft, you're trying new shit. You're trying X Defiant when you have Rainbow Six Siege right there. Why not double down on Rainbow as a franchise and put more resources and funds into that? And Division as well. I know y'all mentioned that earlier. Sony, Astrobot, Game of the Year, double down on it. Continue to make unique experiences like that. Bring back some of those dormant IPs. Helldivers 2, double down on Helldivers. Invest more funds into them. This money you're saving from canceling 8 fucking live service games, put all of those 8 budgets into something that's going to be successful like Helldivers. Continue to invest in what's already successful. Don't invest in some shit where you're praying and hoping and crossing your fingers that it takes off, because this is probably Jim Ryan plan. Jim Ryan probably said, yo, only 2 out of 10 of these motherfuckers are going to take off. And that's all we need. So maybe in his eyes, this is all he needed to take off was the fucking Helldivers and 2. And I mean, that's it. I don't know what other live service games is successful.
Well, it wasn't completely live service, right? You could buy the game outright, right? It was a
Which
$40
game?
price tag.
Oh, yeah, yep.
I don't know how they're continuing to monetize it now. I have no idea. I haven't bothered to.
Yeah, they
involve
use these
how that
things
is.
called war bonds, and it's kind of like their thing of a battle pass, but
Microtransaction?
it's really fucking unique. Every war bond is only $10. Um, they're there forever. You can choose how you. First of all, the starting war bond you start with, man, it's like 4 pages of mad shit. It's like 200, 300 things there, and that's free. So you just naturally can play and progress. And by the time you finish that, it's kind of like Halo or any other or Apex. You got enough from that to purchase a premium war bond. So you can keep doing that and not have to spend any money. But it's a lot of content in there. Helldivers does a lot of things really, really good. And I think you have to learn from the success stories in the games as a service field. Learn
Yeah.
from the Marvel Rivals. Learn from the Helldivers 2. And then the thing that pissed me off about Sony is not everything need to be PvP. Last of Us Part 3 need to have a horde mode where you can be Abby and Ellie teamed up together, and y'all got to secure this room, and you guys got to hold off until somebody from Jackson come save you guys, and you just got to. That'd be dope. Start thinking outside the box. Like, it might seem like a ticky tack add-on multiplayer shit, but trust me, it's not. If I can be Atreus and my homie can be Kratos, and we got to survive 20 waves and shit on some Gears of War type shit, like, bro,
Yeah.
that is cool. That's okay. That's dope. I don't think like motherfuckers realize like motherfuckers wasn't making money off of being able to play Gears of War with your homie back in the day. And Halo back in the day. Like all this live service milking these shit, that shit just came around within the last decade and a decade and a half ago. Like this all this microtransaction shit, this shit is prior to that, man, multiplayer and split screen, all that shit was existing. And it wasn't about, hey, how can we milk our players? It was just about, hey, how can we get, let people love our games? Can we throw a mode in so you can play with your friends? Like Spider-Man 2. Why make a whole separate Spider-Man multiplayer game when you could have just added multiplayer? Like, it could be a whole separate mode when you load in. You got your single player, which is the regular Spider-Man 2 experience, and then you got it where, hey, team up with a friend, invite a friend to be Miles Morales. The entire New York, Manhattan City is yours. Tackle, have a specific Spec Ops style mission list for Miles and Peter to do. That shit would have been dope.
Yeah.
It's like they're overthinking things, man. And when you overthink things, that's because they're looking too far ahead into the future. They're trying to have 10 fucking live service games set up before the PS6 touchdown. And it's like, bro, that's just not going to work, man. If you're an established games as a service, guess what? Clap yourself on the back. It's good. You're already here. If you trying to fight to survive, man, it's way more examples of shit failing in this games as a service world than succeeding. So my message to Sony is double down on what the fuck got you here in the first place. All your success from last gen came from. You don't have to completely do a 180 from last gen. You can try to implement some of these games, and then maybe stop being just such a fucking dick all the time. Maybe say, you know what, Microsoft, we maybe we wouldn't mind this or that here. Maybe we can work something out, a little trade. Maybe we can give you guys a Helldivers 2 so we can get even more money and more income from more players buying and playing our game. And maybe you guys can, maybe put a Halo over here. We can, but Sony make it seem like it's just them versus the world. Like they can't, like, bro, it's not that deep, man. Microsoft, if they wanted to outspend you, they already said it in the court documents. They could have been did that. No, they're not here for that. So you shouldn't continue to be here for that either. You doing more. The money you spend on money hatting games and shit, you could spend on trying to make unique experiences, man.
Yeah.
Even Astrobot having some type of co-op would have been dope, Panda. Like that shit would have been fucking dope.
I'm just mindful of time, Nero. We're already over 3 hours.
I'm sorry. Y'all know I got these rants and tangents.
I know. I'm just going to quickly go to Soul if you wanted to add anything about Bend Studio and Bluepoint. Their two games that they were working on have been cancelled. And so what do they end up doing next? Now, they've kind of indicated that they're not looking at closing any of these two studios anytime soon. They're just going to see what projects they're going to work on next. But what are your thoughts around the fact that 2 more live service games were cancelled?
Excuse me. Like I said before, Sony just needs to get it together, figure out what's going on, what's going wrong, fix it, and then get back on track. To give the folks that primarily game on that platform a reason to stay there. Because if not, imagine the people who don't have a big library there. They're gonna go somewhere else. Be it PC, back to Nintendo, over to Xbox. Who knows? Those folks who have a vast library, they're gonna stick around like anyone would, but eventually, they'll get tired as well. And if 2026 rolls around and it's not looking better, Xbox has a handheld where you can play pretty much everything. Not everything, but you can play anywhere, and you kind of have that PC hybrid deal going on.
Hmm.
We'll just say they'll be able to still enjoy their games, but they'll be doing it through a true Xbox device, or maybe it's the device by Asus or Lenovo, but it's still an Xbox because this is an Xbox. This beard is an Xbox. This show is an Xbox. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
So yeah. But no, as far
Um,
as those studio closures, hate to see it, but it is what it is. Sony needs to figure it out. So hopefully they do really, really
yeah,
soon.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think Ben Studios, we know that there was, they were pitching Days Gone 2. It might have been a no now, but they could have still been reworking it and they put them on something else. And so it feels like a waste of time and money, and it just feels like PlayStation's been doing a lot of that, making the wrong bets and spending a ton of money on games. We know the cost of development is going up. They need to figure a way out to pull it in a bit. But to double down on something that you've already spent money on, like we know about what Concord, 400 million, like that's insane. Absolutely insane that they double down on that, and they cancelled things like factions. I get
Mm,
that's probably what the team wanted to do. They needed to maybe bolster up the size of Naughty Dog to deliver 2 teams, because of how many developers they use to create their single player games. But it probably would have been successful. We've seen so many things being unsuccessful, and Days Gone 2 could have been a fantastic game. Blue Point, they could have been working on a different thing, like an IP that needs to be brought back from the old into the new. Bringing back an IP, you know they're good at remastering or remaking games. You saw what they did with Demon's Souls. You saw what they did with Shadows of the Colossus. Like they are so good at what they do around bringing an old IP up or an old version of a game up and making it better. You've got a massive backlog that you can look at of games that, or massive backlog IPs that aren't being used. And it just feels like you're getting an extra amount of money from COD now, because you've got a better deal around COD for your percentages. They just need to make better decisions at this point. People harped on about Xbox's mismanagement and all of this such. PlayStation has made some bad bets, and
mhm.
so they're looking at the higher ups and going, who's making what decisions and things like that. Yeah, they're just making some bad decisions, and it's just really impacting. And we know that Day and Date's going to PC soon because of what's going on. The fact that they're relying on remasters is super concerning. Hey, just
Yeah.
buy this remaster. People don't mind a remaster if it hasn't already been remastered like 2 further times, or if it wasn't remastered from last gen, like
Yep.
PS3 gen. I know it's different, the cell processor, but things that are stuck on there due to the cell processor, Bluepoint could remake and deliver a new version of it. Like there are things that you could be doing, and you're not doing it.
Yeah.
It's very concerning. It makes, like, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's some things happening on that side. The industry isn't what it used to be, and we know that Sony is feeling it. They are making more money around revenue, but they're spending more, so the profit isn't there.
Right.
Yeah, they do not have something like ABK to rely on. But I'm mindful of time, guys. Anything else anyone wants to add before we head out for the
Yeah,
day?
one last month. No, I'm just playing. Let's stop holding Soul hostage, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
No,
is he staying awake? I'm like, he looks like he's faltering and he's gonna
I am
fall. Like,
so. Let me tell you something, guys. I am so sorry about that, but I gotta take this medicine. I did the best that I could to be
Hey,
with
man, we
us
appreciate
and try
having
to
you.
give some energy. My energy was up and down. This ooh yeah, this medicine is kicking in really really good. So that being said, but it was fun getting back into the groove. A lot of interesting things to talk about. A whole lot things that we're going to be talking about next week, especially after this developer direct. We get to, hopefully no one spoils it and puts it out there, what the surprise game or games, plural, might be, and hopefully we do have a chance to be surprised next week. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll show you how much I'm looking forward to it. Let me show you guys right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
Hey.
South of Midnight.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So,
let's go.
Yeah, I had a T-shirt made. So that South of T-shirt, South of T-shirt. See, this is drug. It's the stuff. It's the stuff. The South of Midnight T-shirt made. So I am ready to rock and roll with that one. As far as yeah, no, that's I feel I'm floating. So in my best Jeff Goldblum, I'm floating. I'm floating. And so, but this was fun, guys. I'm glad to be back. Looking forward to many more. 2025 off to a good start. You guys were wild last week, and this was a good show.
It's always a good show. We talk way too much. Oh, I need to put my Feed the Panda thing on. We did have the Black Viking. He was with family, and so he got back home later than he was meant to be.
Family always comes
first. Family always comes first. So we're going to try and line him up for another week. He does apologize. I was messaging him in the background as well. But yeah, I thought I'd give you an update on where our guest was. But that's okay. We had Soul back. So, great. Nero, where can people avoid you after this show?
You can avoid me in my restroom because I've been holding my tinkle for the last 30 minutes.
You went on such a long rant, and
first of all, good night, Panda. Good night, Soul. Great episode. I love you guys. Because as soon as I finish this outlog, I am going to use the restroom. So, NextGenNero, all platforms, guys. Working on a few things in the background. I'm not going to spoil, but some reviews and other content is coming soon. Every platform: Blue Sky, Twitter, Netflix. My NextGenNero. Yes, I didn't want to announce it earlier, guys. Me and Panda, we got a deal with Netflix going on. She will be selling feet videos via Netflix, the same way Raw and Wrestling has did a partnership. ADS has done a partnership as well. So if you want to see Panda feet, well, because we all looked at each other's feet and we all agreed that you had the best. Soul came pretty close, but violated. But all jokes aside, man. NextGenNero on all platforms, man. YouTube, Blue Sky, Twitter, everything.
Oh, Nero.
Hit that like button if y'all want to see
You're killing me. You know that I've got an Only Cams page, right? No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I've been subbed for 3 months now.
I just want to say shout out to the whole chat. Whether you watched us live, whether you're watching it after the fact, whether you watched us on Twitter, or whether you watched us through YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're joining us from, thank you all. Your support means so much. We do have a guest next week joining us for the show after the Developers Direct. We got Jay Duke, and so you may know him from all his beautiful Starfield stuff he does, like all of it, all the content. Like, go to his channel, watch it all. I expect you to have done your homework before next week's show, so I'm kidding. But we will see you all next week. You can find me here, by the way. You can find me on Xbox. I'll probably be playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 up until some other game takes my fancy, which is going to be Sniper Elite Resistance or Avowed. One of those two is totally going to just take my life. But I will be finishing in Robocop because I'm really enjoying that. So, yeah. Have a good night, everybody, or day, and we will see you all next week. Bye.